It's that time again. Oh, yeah, the new element in the house.
Yeah.
May 11th,
Yeah.
2017. It's been that date all day long. We got a couple
May
more hours
11th
to go.
already, man?
Yeah. It kind of still feels like March here in PA, and hopefully next week we jump up into the 70s and 80s. But supposedly what they tell us on their bullcast.
I'm saying, though, man, it's already May 11th. I mean, the New Year just came in, it feels like. You know what I'm saying? It's already, we're already 5 months into this already, man.
I'll tell you this, time flies, but we don't. Unless you get into a plane. So what's been new with you, my man? What's been new with you? I know you're busy and all, but there's got to be something. There's got to be something that you're doing. Musically, I don't know, something like that. What do you got going on?
I'm still working on the last few songs, man. I've just been mad busy, keeping bills paid and stuff. So it's taking a little more time than usual, but I'll have the next few songs done in the next month or two, and the new album will be out with a FE song on there, and a couple other joints on there. But I already got 9 songs. I just want to get at least 12 on the joint.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before I release it. So I'm excited about it, and I think that everybody's gonna like the stuff that I'm putting out. I hope you do, and you know what I mean. And just gonna keep it moving from there. That's all. I got some new videos coming out soon too.
Me too. Me as well. I got one. We're in the works right now with my song "This Is My Body." It's a anti-vaccine, an anti-GMO song, an anti-Bill Gates. Doing that one, and we got the one with me and the facts. Illusion of choice about these phony elections. Yeah, he already sent me his stuff, so we're working on my material now, and it's gonna be a good year, man. There's a lot of good stuff in the works. More Than Conquerors. We'll be doing something there. Matter of fact, I'm working on music for 2 songs for all you guys. So it's gonna be fun. But I'm pretty pumped about this show right here, and I know you're on fire with it. You are on fire with it. And I made the announcement last week.
It's hard to keep stuff like this under wraps, man, because this is an important show for Christians. It's a very important show, but it's an important show for everybody because it is a lie that's been told to us that we need to expose, and there's reasons why. I'm sure we'll get into that as the show goes on. But it's just something that people need to know. I mean, how can you believe anything that these people say to you anymore? And this is a big thing that they've been lying about.
And on that note, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it. You have a very good song, and we usually start off the show with a song, of course. But I finally got this song, brother. I was going to play it last week, but I didn't have it in the studio. But I got it now. I think you know what I'm getting ready to play. Yeah. And this is good. This is good. I think it's a perfect way to start off this show because basically we are being programmed. I mean, we're being indoctrinated. We're being programmed on many levels, not just the level we're going to be discussing tonight. But, I mean, I'm sure a lot of listeners out there, they are awake. They see what's going on. They know what's going on. We're told to put all our hope, trust, and faith in these puppets called presidents, and, well, that usually backfires. So, without any further ado, let's roll this song, and then we're going to bring in our 2 special guests tonight. We got Carly Sunshine and Daryl Marble. And I'm going to tell you something. This is going to be a hype show. So everyone hang tight. We'll be back in 3 minutes. We'll bring in our guests, and we're going to kick this thing off the New Element style. Everybody hang tight. This song is Ninja Scroll. We're programmed.
of the campaign can get a little salty.
The final days of the campaign can get a little salty.
The final days of the campaign can get a little salty.
The final days of the campaign can get a little salty.
Programs you believe what is on TV, like robots all the same. Where programs you be what they wanted to be, intrigued by celebrity fame. Where programmed by the lies coming from the screen, propaganda is the name. Where programmed by the media, hype it ain't right, mind control is the name of the game.
The ignorant never feel rattled. They be watching the same thing, it's just on different channels. They show you programs, try to fix you. They be relaying the same message, but with different pictures. You only see what they want you to see. And wannabes wanna be what they want you to be. I had to keep up for programming me. I be relaying this message and setting you free. Yeah, don't listen to the hype. Don't listen to the media, because the media ain't steering you right. So listen up before you see in the light. Battles are only won because the soldiers that fight. So don't believe what you see on the screen. There's much more to the world than the things that you see. So don't let propaganda control you. Don't be fooled by the things that's in front of you.
Programs you believe what is on TV, like robots all the same. Where programs you be what they wanted to be, intrigued by celebrity fame. Where programmed by the lies coming from the screen, propaganda is the name. Where programmed by the media, hype it ain't right, control is the name of the game.
They supposed to be the watchdogs, breaking stories and exposing corruption. Keep government and they chosen, informing the public of the backdoor deals. Keep it real, break it down in the field. But instead they've been bought and paid to distract, manipulate, programming the minds of the slaves. Tell us what we ought to love and hate, and what we should debate. Even tell us how to behave. 6 corporations run all the TV stations and run all the radio. They own the newspapers, the websites, media bagpipes, the movie studios. Every bit of information we get comes from 1 in 6, and the fact is it's all the same. It's the illusion of choice coming from one voice. My control is the name of the game. Insane.
Programs you believe what is on TV, like robots all the same. Where programs you be what they wanted to be, intrigued by celebrity fame. Where programmed by the lies coming from the screen, propaganda is the name. Where programmed by the media, hype it ain't right, mind control is the name of the game. Where programs you believe what is on TV, like robots all the same. Where programs you be what they wanted to be, intrigued by celebrity fame. Where programmed by the lies coming from the screen, propaganda is the name. Where programmed by the media, hype it ain't right, mind control is the name of the game.
In consumer news, economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
Can you, shut up?
All right. Who'd you have on there with you? Who was covering that first verse?
That was my man. What was his name? I can't. Oh, my man Michael Grant and WMG. WMG is his name.
I knew that wasn't you. I'm
one
like,
of my.
hey, hold on.
Actually, that's my. Sort of, he's kind of like my nephew in a way. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
A little young boy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, you ready to do this? I'm ready to do this. I know Carly's ready to do this. I know Daryl's ready to do this. But I'm going to say this before we kick this thing off. Any of you listening right now, I try not to get into the debates and stuff because for some reason, they're getting nasty. I remember at one time you mentioned the name of Jesus Christ, and people would flip out on you and give you a whole bunch of nonsense and a bunch of lip service and yelling and hollering and calling you names because you mentioned Jesus Christ. Now, when you mention flat earth, you're getting the same thing. People got to understand something. Anyone that believes in the ball earth theory, prove it. There's not one real picture of the earth. You got to know this, and we're going to cover this tonight. But don't come against someone and say, I'm going to block you and remove them. You people are crazy. Because you know what? There's some flat earthers that think you're crazy for what you believe in. Because you have been programmed. We're going to go on all those topics tonight. without any further ado, Carly Sunshine and Daryl Marble, welcome to the show. How's everybody?
Well, hello,
tonight?
fellas.
How's it going, guys?
Hi there, fellas.
Hey, it's good to have you guys. It's good to have both you guys on in with us. And I just want to touch on something that AJ just said. You know, a lot of people when you start talking about the flat earth, the first thing they do is they flip out on you, and they, like you said, they start calling you names or whatever, you're crazy, whatever. They have no basis on what they're saying. They have no proof of anything. They can't even prove what I'm saying or disprove what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of the first thing they do. The first reaction is hostile because it's a thing called cognitive dissonance. Once they get that belief in them of what it is, and you bring in a new belief, it's hard for them to take in what you're telling. It's hard for them to understand that you're speaking something totally different from what they've been taught, and they can't understand that.
Michael Connolly put it really good earlier when he had commented. He said, you know, I might not believe in what you guys believe in, but I'm not going to stop you from talking about it or from believing in it. And that's the right attitude. And he's not the type of guy that's going to come at you and start calling you a nut and, oh, you're whacked out and stuff. He respects it, and that's what it comes down to. People, be human. Respect each other, no matter if their views are different than yours.
The thing is, they're going to call us that. They call you all that stuff without even any proof of if I'm wrong. You know, all they know is what they've been told. That's what this whole show is going to expose. Is everybody that's saying that the earth is round and the globe and spinning all these millions of miles, whatever, where is your proof? Have you seen this happen? That's what I want to know. You know, you haven't seen any of this. There you go. Let's go ahead. Let's get on. Let's kick it off. I'm starting to get angry already, man.
That's all right. You got to save that for the end because we're gonna be hitting.
I hear that. I'm like, all right, we got to calm this guy down. Hold on.
coming from Daryl, you watch some of his YouTube videos. He's on fire. He's like, yo, how dare you call me this and say that? Yo, where's your basis? Show me. But before we get started, let's start with Carly. I want to get her testimony. You know, and you know this beyond flat Earth. Beyond, the motionless Earth, you're awake to other things as well. Vaccines, GMOs, chemtrailing, and stuff like that. So this is a process, and someone actually recently said that, when it comes to being awake, there's two volumes. Volume 1 is you woke up to 9/11 was an inside job. You woke up to the government's basically controlled by what they call the deep state. You wake up to GMOs and chemtrails and stuff like that. He goes, but Volume 2 starts with what's going on with this Earth and NASA lies and these theories that have never been proved. He goes, the quote, flat Earth, he's like, that's Volume 2 because that's probably one of the hardest things to swallow.
Correct.
So, Carly,
I feel like,
what woke you up?
Yes,
Give us your journey all the way through.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay, first off?
Absolutely.
Yes.
You sound great. And before anyone goes real quick, is everybody feeling all right? None of y'all are dizzy or anything, right? Because, we ain't got us spinning and getting thrown all over the place.
Yeah. I got
one foot on the floor, so I'm not spinning. One foot on the floor, so I stopped spinning.
I think it might be. Is that gravity holding your foot on the floor?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh man, fun stuff. All right, Carly, the floor is yours, girl. Go ahead.
Okay, so
and give us your story from beginning to now.
Okay, I was going to ask. I don't know how far you want me to go back, but it's going to get pretty intense immediately if I start from the beginning. But
what woke you up in the process? Like there was 9/11 woke a lot of people up. The government does a very wonderful job of waking people up. We try our hardest to plant them seeds, but the government, they every day they're waking somebody up. From the very beginning to now, like what started you on the path of researching and exposing what's true and looking into it?
So 9/11 was not my beginning. It started way before that. But before I start with my testimony, I just wanted to give a shout out to both of you guys, Renegade and Ninja. First off, the music in the beginning was so intense, and then you played Ninja's song, got me all hyped up. I'm very excited for this show, and I'm just Really, seriously, I was sitting here like, I could start dancing right now. I just thanking you guys for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for the compliment. It means a lot.
Yep, no problem. And I wanted to mention that Renegade mentioned that he is from Pennsylvania, and that's so special because I'm from Pennsylvania as well. So we are actually local flat earthers to each other. I know. We have not met yet. We've only just talked, but it's just real special to know that we're that close. So
we share the same chemtrails. Isn't that cool?
I know. Same chemtrails, same time zone. So a lot of people, they started waking up when they witnessed what happened in 9/11. My awakening started a lot earlier than that. And like I said, this is going to be a little intense at first, and people can take it however they want to take it, but this is my experience. And if people are open to me sharing what really opened my eyes up to the fact that this earth is not what it seems to be, and that I needed to start questioning what I was told. This all happened when I was 8 years old. Now, I'm 36 years old now. And I will start off by saying that I am a born-again, Christ-believing Christian, salvation-believing Christian, and I grew up in a Christian-based home. And when I was very young, when I was 8 years old, I had an experience in the middle of the night where I woke up because I felt like there was a presence watching me. Something felt very evil. And I lived in a manufactured home, a double-wide manufactured home on a basement, just to give you a perspective. And there was no porch out front and no steps, and the basement was exposed. So my bedroom was 2 stories up. There was nothing outside of my window, but in the middle of the night, I looked out my window, and there was a creature outside of my window. And what I saw was the epitome of nowadays what people would call a gray alien. I know people are cringing right now because there's a lot of deceit with the alien agenda. But that is not to say, though, that these things don't exist. That I'm not saying that they're from another planet, but there is evil that exists in this world, and people need to know that it's out there. But this creature was right outside my window. It was clearly trying to communicate with me. It could not talk to me, but it was making me feel a certain way, I guess, like kind of putting thoughts or feelings into my brain. I mean, that's how I can only describe it. And I tried to talk, and I could not talk. I could not make any kind of audible sound. This creature was very angry. It was making like aggressive, jerky kind of moves and shaking its head back and forth. And to me, as a child, it looked like it was trying to get into where I was through the window. Now, as I got older and I started researching into these sorts of things, I realized that normally windows and walls do not stop abductions or alien experiences. But for some reason, this thing could not pass the barrier of my window and my wall. I was very terrified. The only thing that I knew to do, because at 8 years old is when I actually accepted Christ as my Savior. So all this started happening, of course, at an appropriate time. The only thing I knew to do was to call out to God, but I did it in my head because I couldn't make any kind of audible sound, and I just asked him to help me. And this creature was cursing God's name. I wish I could remember the name that he used because I don't know. I just know that in my head he was cursing God's name. He was very angry at me, trying to be very aggressive. I had a very distinct feeling that he hated humans. Whenever I called out to God, then I felt a second presence behind me, like protecting me, but I was not allowed to turn around and see it. Strange. But as soon as I got that little prayer out in my head, the creature on the outside of the window disappeared, and I felt a peace. And I climbed back up into my bed at 8 years old, and I surrounded myself with a bunch of stuffed animals like a little nest, and I fell back asleep. So I know that's intense and very strange, but this is a genuine experience that I had that terrified me from such a young age. And nothing like that had ever happened in my life. And I started questioning very young, what was that? What happened to me?
I bet.
And, of course, even my parents had no idea. You know, I shared with them, and they thought I was kind of crazy or it was a nightmare. But as I got older, they realized that this really happened to me. I still feel the same way talking about it inside as I did that day. And from that day on, I started doing research. It sounds young at 8 years old, but I started going to libraries. We didn't have computers or cell phones. I started going to libraries and looking up anything I possibly could about aliens. But thank God I was way into researching the fact that aliens or these evil entities that society said was from outer space was actually just demonic entities. And that is the reason why that is the reason why this thing hated God, hated me, had so much aggression towards me. So it really gave me a completely different perspective on things from a very young age. I knew aliens were not from another planet, and I knew that had something to do with religion because they aggressively hated humans and aggressively hated God. And so from then on, at a very young age, I started looking at so many things in the world drastically different. Now, a lot of things happened in between there that I researched. A big one for me as far as the government is concerned and how corrupt it is was what happened at Waco. Really learning what really went on there opened my eyes to how deceitful our government is and how they really just don't care about us as humans, and just disgusting situation. If those of you listening have never looked into it, go on YouTube, look up a video called Waco Rules of Engagement, and you'll be, astounded. But
you know what, Carly?
Yes.
When you're trying to wake someone up to 9/11, I've heard it so many times. Our government would never dare attack us. Why would our government attack us? Well, go look at Waco, Texas, if you don't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's just one instance.
But like we said earlier, we were so programmed, and even I was at first, to think that David Koresh was an occult leader and that he, raped little children there, and that he was that the Branch Davidians were all abusing children, and that they were just a horrible cult. And it wasn't that way at all if you really look into it. But anyway, as I got older, my dad had a little bit to do with opening my eyes to things. My dad was in the Navy, but he knew things because of being in the military, and he would tell me little things. I remember him telling me at a very young age that there was satanic Illuminati symbolism on our money. So all these little things started adding up. I was a big follower for a while of the speakers in the Prophecy Club, which I believe Rob Skiba used to speak on a long time ago. So I knew about him before he was ever into Flat Earth. Bill Schneblin, who is now a Flat Earther, I followed him for a while. Of course, 9/11 happened, and in the beginning I did believe, that we were going to war and we were attacked. But I started researching the young gentleman that did Loose Change. I think it was Dylan Avery and Corey Rowe. I became friends with them and started watching their shows on 9/11, changed my whole outlook. And now it's changed even more. My mind's open enough that I can continue to keep learning. The wars are fake. It's propaganda. All these false flags that have happened, research them. I was really heavily into researching CERN, Jade Helm 15, like right before Flat Earth came about. And I've looked into the alien agenda, dinosaurs, all these things leading up to this. But now I don't want to keep rambling because I could talk forever. But leading up to now, when I started getting into questioning the shape of the Earth, all started around February, March of 2015. Around February, I was listening to a radio show called Clyde Lewis's Ground Zero, and he was talking a lot about CERN, and he also had on a guest called Crow 777, and he was showing us all this strange anomaly called the lunar wave. And I mean, that just blew my mind. If you haven't seen it, you got to look up Crow 777's lunar wave. I needed to know what in the world was going on with the moon. I started questioning the sun. Not long after that, Clyde Lewis also had Mark Sargent on his show. And also just blew my mind. His show was called This Geoid Earth. It wasn't even called Flat Earth. It was called This Geoid Earth. It was very, very recent after he did his Flat Earth Clues. And I looked into his work, and he also mentioned Eric Dubé and Eric Dubé's Atlantean Conspiracy. He didn't have his 200 proofs video out. He just had a website, and I looked into all this. And that just kind of really sucked me in. I just became obsessed, started watching a lot of videos, doing a lot of research independently. And then eventually I realized that there were groups on Facebook that were also looking into the Flat Earth. So I started getting involved with groups, getting involved as far as following them. And I kept graduating and maturing as far as my research, decided that I wanted to do more than just be a part of the groups. I wanted to actually run my own group. And I started what I call my baby. It's called Flat and Happy. And I know that's kind of a silly name, but can you guys still hear me okay?
Oh, you're good.
Hello?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So my group on Facebook is called Flat and Happy. Very successful group. It's a closed group, but it's very I don't want to say I really vet all the people that I allow in there. I really just want it to be a safe place for people to come and research. They can share their documentation, their experiments, their observations, things like that, so they can learn about Flat Earth better, so they can go out into the world and share it with their friends and family and others. Then I started getting into more groups. I have about a dozen groups that I admin. I graduated then from there to create my own content channel. So I have a YouTube channel called Carly Sunshine, where I do anything from experiments to just documenting observations with the sun and the moon. I have video logs, and I do just some mixed bag content on there. And here I am now today. Every day I'm trying to grow, and every day I'm trying to help others, do what I can to take the next step to help others learn more about our flat and stationary Earth. I'm so excited to be here.
Wow. Well, that is one heck of a testimony, and I fully believe you. In researching demonology.
Thank you.
Well, since I was little, I have something actually recently I've been getting pretty big into is the whole demonology aspect of a lot of things. And yes, there are more people than just you who mention about these gray aliens that, well, we're to believe came from some star system somewhere else and came here from a distant galaxy, a galaxy far, far away. No, they're here. There's nothing new under the sun. That's biblical. There's nothing new under the sun. These things have been here. They exist here, and they are very evil. You're not the first person to say that when they have been in the, around these entities, that they felt very uneasy, fearful. That's your soul coming under attack from the evil that these entities put out. They're not here to make friends.
No. It's one of the most.
Why. So let me just say this real quick. There's a reason why that they wanted to believe that they're aliens from other planets. That all is part of the global Earth thing. All this is part of it. It's all to discredit God. In order for them to say that there is no God, the Earth can't be flat. The Earth has to be round. It has to be round. It has to be millions of galaxies. It has to be alien life forms on other parts of planets and stuff like that. There has to be that. Because then they can say, well, these people made us. God didn't make us. Aliens made us. We have alien DNA. This is all part of evolution. This is wrapped up into one. And for Christians to say that the Earth isn't flat, first of all, read the Bible. The Bible says it. It's all throughout the Bible. It's in Job. It's in I can't remember half of the other.
It's in Daniel. You
can look it up yourself, and you can find all the scriptures. It doesn't come out right out and say that it's flat, but it talks about certain things as the Earth being like a seal, that God stamped down he stamped down and he stamped the earth down like the foundation, and it's like a seal, and a seal is like a ink stamp that you put on an envelope. And when you stamp something down like they did back in the days when they were kings and queens on the earth, and they would put their seal on an envelope, you will get these round edges, and it's a flat surface. And that's what he says. He described to Job that the earth was like. This is right there in the Bible.
What is it, Joshua 10:23? God stopped the sun and the moon.
The sun and the moon.
That's not possible when you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, flying around the sun and then get hurled through space. If
we're revolving around the sun, why would he stop the sun?
Right.
He wouldn't stop the sun. He would stop the earth.
Right. Exactly.
The earth is going around the sun, isn't it? That's what they tell us. So the earth is revolving around the sun. In Joshua, he tells Joshua that he's going to stop the moon and the sun from moving, not the earth from moving.
Right. Because we're not moving. We're stationary.
It's sitting still. But let's go ahead. I'm going to let y'all talk before, because I can take this whole show.
Yeah. Well, Carly, I want to get back to you. Like, what sort of happened with you as you started speaking out? Like, say 9/11. I know I've ran into a load of trouble, and the biggest one is vaccines. I mean, GMOs people can understand because they're eating it and all, and it's food. But with vaccines, that's another thing that people have been so programmed to believe that you don't. And they're poisons. So I get a little bit of resistance when I talk about that, but I can quickly turn people and say, here, check this out, check that out, check this out. And that's kind of the same thing with us questioning, their official story like 9/11 on the earth. What kind of resistance did you get? Like, and also victories. Have you, the people you've turned around and now are questioning it and saying, hey, I don't believe this no more. I don't believe NASA's pictures because I know they're fake. I don't believe this.
Well, I mean, I definitely have had, how do I want to say, the aggressive reactions, and people balk so badly whenever you talk about these sorts of things. I mean, they roll their eyes, and normally I'm just kind of considered, I'm that weird friend, that talks about conspiracies. But it's a shame because I consider myself pretty persuasive, but people are just so programmed that sometimes it's hard to get through that brainwashing.
Well, see, but that's that reversal though, right there. The weird friend that talks about conspiracies. Well, these are actual things that impact us and influence us every day. But yet, what I consider weird is people who are so wrapped up in football and baseball and the Kardashians and, Honey Boo Boo at one time, that they don't even know what day it is. You're so wrapped up in a fantasy. You're applauding and cheering on someone else's victories, making millions of dollars, and you're broke. You're broke, and you ain't making any kind of victories in your life. You're down and out. But yet you put all this attention. You know all the stats. That, to me, is the weird friend. I'm sorry. We can flip the script a little bit, and I think we should.
And not only that, are they, they're not getting anything. They're not getting no money from this. But the team doesn't even know you exist. The players don't know you exist. The owners don't know you exist. So what are you getting all in a tiff for about when they lose or win? What's the matter?
And fighting and getting in fights and stuff at these games because this guy wore that jersey. Like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I think that we're
but it's just a game.
Yeah, thank you. It's just a game. That's it. Yep. But they get so wrapped up in it becomes their life. I mean, they got the fanfare crap all over their house. They paint themselves up when they go to the game. They belly bump and slap each other on the butts like the football players do. And that, to me, is a weird friend. I'm sorry. I ain't slapping a dude on the butt.
Well, society has become so superficial that things like that make them so happy. People don't really understand true happiness. They have these fake, disingenuous things that make them happy, and they're addicted to it, But I think as far as like little victories or big victories, I've come to the conclusion that, oftentimes we feel that if we can, change our spouse's point of view, or our mom and our dad, our friends and our family, that is like the victory that we're after. But sometimes we have to kind of come to the conclusion and understanding that you might not change their mind. And
right.
you can be a respectful, be a respectful human and plant the seed. Don't lose your temper, even if they do. Turn the other cheek. Be the better person. Learn your craft. Learn what you need to know to help them. But you're not going to change their mind. Work on yourself. And then what I see is working on myself and finding my brave and stepping out there a little bit more and taking the next step and maturing. And this is my experience, and this is my, growth that I'm worried about, is that the more I work on myself and kind of put myself out there in different ways, then people come to you. People trust you. Right. People come to you. Like the people right now listening, or the people that maybe listen to my channel or all of our channels, or come to our Facebook groups or come to our profile page, whatever, if they're coming there and they aren't a flat earther, but they're curious and they're coming there because they trust you and they just want answers, I'm not shoving that down their throat. You know what I mean? So that's where I see victories in, is that it's hard to get that across sometimes to some people, is that if you just work on you and make this the best experience for yourself, because you cannot change anybody else's mind. And that might sound harsh, but it's true. No one changed my mind. I did that on my own, and that's part of what made my experience so wonderful. So don't take that away from someone else. Let them come to it when they're ready. You know what I mean? And if they're not ever ready, you're just going to have to understand that they might not ever be ready.
Well, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's the thing. But hey, Daryl, I heard you kind of chiming in there. What were you going to say, brother?
Oh, man, I was just going to chime in to say that, all these sports that we see these days, I mean, it's just a basic repackaging of the old Roman Colosseum bread and circus.
Yeah, that's
can you hear me?
That's right. You're absolutely
right. It's just something to keep us entertained. And that's something that I noticed growing up, keep us entertained and distracted.
What does the word entertainment mean? Look that up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here, let me look that up.
Do it. This is good. Jared did a whole show on being what an entertainer does. But hold on. I can mention two right now that people honestly take seriously. Bill Nye, the perverted guy, not perverted guy. Well, if you see his thing, Bill Nye Saves the World, you might think differently about it. But, Bill Nye the Science Guy and Neil deGrasse Tyson. They're both actors. They're paid to do this. They're paid to, do what they do, represent a lie.
The whole name, Bill Nye the Science Guy. He talks science. What does science mean? Science is observation. What has he observed? Has he observed evolution? Has he observed the rock with a chimpanzee? Has he observed the Big Bang? Did he observe the Earth round? Did he observe the Earth spinning and rotating around the sun? Did anybody observe that?
Nope.
How is that something?
It's just like philosophy.
Nobody's observed that.
Nobody has. I've had people tell me that the Earth is round. I'm like, prove it's round. They say, there's pictures of it. I say, did you see it round with your eyes? They say, no. Well, how do you know it's round? Well, because they said it's round. They have shows of it and movies, and they took video from International Space Stations. And I'm like, well, you on the International Space Station. Did you see it for yourself? No. Well, then how do you know it's round? You don't.
Exactly. And people just buy into this with absolutely no apprehensions about it. It's just this. That's what bothers me, because we've been spoon-fed this false reality ever since we were children. And, I mean, I was in a conversation with a lady today. I'm like, hey, going to be talking to some guys on the radio later about flat Earth. She's like, oh, my God, you're such a conspiracy theory. I'm like, first off, the term is conspiracy theorist, and no, I'm not. But, it's just, oh, man. And I mean, she went off on the same tangent there. She's like, well, I mean, haven't you watched Discover Earth on the History Channel? I'm like, oh my God, just come on, man. It's
that's
all
your evidence. Yeah, that's your evidence. That's all you got is what you saw on TV.
Yeah,
what you see with your eyes? Can you go out and look for yourself and see something? But if somebody can show you everything.
Here's something else. I can't. All right, hold on, man. Hold on 1 second. Listeners,
all right.
Get your facts freaking straight. You want to throw around the term fake news? Understand where it came from, okay? That was all started because of Pizzagate. They needed to deflect us truthers, calling out the Clintons, calling out all these other clowns involved in child pedophilia. They wanted to call the alternative media fake news. Get your facts straight. Here's another fact to get straight. The term conspiracy theorist came from the CIA in the same manner. It was an attempt to discredit anybody who questioned the JFK murder. The CIA coined this term to make you sound like they're freaking crazy. So when someone calls you a conspiracy theorist, they're using the term loosely because they really don't understand where it came from, where it originated, and who coined it, and why it was coined.
Exactly.
And just goes to show you, people don't do the research. People just grab a term and they throw it out there, and they don't know anything about it. But hey, guess what? I'm putting on Fox tonight because the game's on. Woo-hoo!
You know what? Now we got Daryl talking. Daryl, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and your testimony?
All right. Well,
yeah, Daryl, go ahead. Roll with it.
All right. So, my whole coming about this information, I mean, dude, I was a late bloomer as far as the whole getting into the whole alternative system, what's going on, the world that, isn't being put in front of our faces. I was in the military when 9/11 happened. I was about 9 months in, a fresh private in the Army, and I remember being in, and I didn't know about 9/11 until a couple years after I got out. I had already been on deployment. I did a year in Iraq. I did a month in Kuwait while I was out there, but I didn't really look into any of that stuff because around 2000, year 2000, I decided I wasn't going to watch the news. I'm not going to watch the news because, I used to call it the bad news. Every time something comes on, I'm like, okay, somebody got raped, somebody got murdered, somebody got robbed. There was a natural disaster over here. This place got bombed. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. So I kind of self-medicated, as it were, to kind of protect myself from that because I'm, I guess what people call an empath. I feel other people's feelings when I'm close to them, or not. One of the things that bothered me growing up that tipped me off to the fact that something's wrong with the world is that when I was a child, I used to see these videos on TV, these commercials about the kids starving. They would show these pictures of these kids starving, and I'm like, we're over here, we got all this food, we got all this money, all these clothes and fancy cars and all that, but there are kids like starving in another part of the world. I don't understand that. My little brain at that time, I couldn't comprehend why this had to happen in the world, and it just bothered me. I used to break down crying sometimes. I'm like 7 years old. I'm worried about kids, being hungry in Africa or Indonesia or whatever, But I just kind of had to detach from that reality. I was never really big into sports. Never really got into all that type of stuff. I was never following any basketball teams. All right, well, maybe in the mid-'90s because Michael Jordan was playing. Everybody was watching Michael Jordan, seriously. But, I just saw how people would get so involved in those things. Guys would buy these jerseys and they would go meet up with their buddies at the bar and they would drink beer and ignore their wives and kids so they could go slap five with their friends and watch the game. And I just looked at that and I was like, it just didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, there are actual issues going on in the world and you guys are worried about this, So as far as my development or journey getting into what people call conspiracy theories, which, most of the time if not all the time, turn out to be true. It was the first introduction to that was watching Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11. And, I mean, I was just looking like, wait, well, what do you mean Saudi Arabia was friends with the president and the hijackers were Saudi Arabian, and why are we going to Iraq then? I don't understand what's going on here. So, I mean, from there I just kind of just started doing my own research into these things, and I got into looking at the Freemasons and how they have their secret meetings and all that. And I knew a few Masons, and they try to talk to me. Hey man, you look like a traveling brother. You need to come talk to me. I'm like, no, I'm good. You know, I don't want to stand in your little room and put my hand on a Bible. I don't want to, you know, have to put on the little blindfold and pull my pants leg up and get chastised. Like, I don't want to do all that.
Hold on, man. You know, just be real. You're not into sausage parties. It's all cool. I ain't either. Who wants to be involved in a sausage party?
Yeah, you know, look. I mean, there was some guys. One of them, it was like three of them talked to me one time, and one guy's like, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think?" Other guy, he like pulls up the shirt in my back, shows my butt, and he's like, "Yeah, I think he'll be just fine." I was like, "What? Why are you looking at my back,
exactly.
About spanking me or something? What are y'all into?" You know what I'm saying? So
There's some
like,
that's a weird crowd, man. That's a weird crowd.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that obviously that was a turn off because I'm not like that. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but something's wrong with that. But you know, I just walked away from that whole thing, man. So there was that. You know, I went from looking at the Masons, and then, you know, next step started looking into the Illuminati, things like that, and the stuff that they got going on.
The ones who control the Masons.
Yeah, and I just started you know, working my way up the chain, looking at these different things, and I was like really into these things, looking at these secret societies and what they had going on. I started looking at these, and, you know, I like lived on YouTube for like 5 years straight, you know, because I was like, I don't want to pay for cable, so I just turned it off, you know, just canceled the cable bill, and I mean, YouTube was the source, you know, YouTube and Netflix if I wanted to unplug from that stuff for a while. But, you know, it was just a transition from there, looking at the way that these people would place these symbols in all these advertisements on the fronts of buildings, you know, how they would, you know, have these signs in our face constantly showing us that, you know, that they're there behind the scenes kind of mocking us. Yep. And I mean that just got on my nerves for the most part. And the way that I came into Flat Earth, it was a couple years ago. My girlfriend Tanya and I at the time, we were watching a show called Under the Dome. Seen that one about a little invisible shield over a small town? You know, people start running low on food. People start killing each other and stuff. You know, it's kind of crazy. So, you know, we watched that show and got to the third season, and, you know, that was it. It just kind of ended abruptly. So, you know, how you like binge watch Netflix, and then you get that empty feeling, and you're like, well, now what? So we hop on YouTube to look for additional content, and, you know, we type in Under the Dome. We're looking around to different casting, commentary, blooper, behind-the-scenes type stuff. Didn't want to watch any of that, but I saw this one video. It was like a 2-hour video. It had this crazy thing I'd never seen. It was like looked like the Earth, except there was a dome over it. I clicked on that thing. It was by this guy, Leisure X. And as soon as I click on that, it said something about flat Earth theory. And then I hear this cool voice hops on and says, "This is a Reader's Digest version containing many of the interesting parts of the flat Earth theory." And it was Mark Sargent who was on that thing. And what that was, it was like all of this flat Earth foods in 1 2-hour video. And I mean, you know, I'm like, okay, he had flat Earth. So I'm like, what do you mean flat Earth? I never heard.
You stumbled onto this from watching the Under the Dome thing, and that stumbled onto that video. That had to be like, you know what I mean? That had to be like shocking.
I mean, it was somewhat of a shock, but I guess all that preparation from looking at how much we have been lied to already, dude, nothing surprises me anymore. You know?
It didn't surprise me.
And that's a big thing right there. How much we've been lied to already. You right there, that statement is huge. We've been lied to on so many levels. I'm talking from our food to our health care to the judicial system. I mean, all the way up through. We've been lied to. You know, take a look at this honest government we got. I was just kidding.
Right. Absolutely. But yeah, man. I mean, I stumbled up onto that, and we're talking between each video, pause it, look at each other like, yo, do you believe that they sent a guy to Antarctica and he came back saying that there was land on the other side of this huge ice wall? So like 2 hours later, 2 hours later, we're looking at each other like, yo, I think the Earth is flat. You know what I mean? And I mean, we just went from there, and I mean, I honestly spent like the whole next day rewatching that same video time after time. Like, I don't freaking believe this crap, and just trying to get it into my head. Yes, we've been lied to, but would they really lie about the shape of the world? Really? And
because there's an agenda attached to it.
Yeah, yeah, and you start asking questions like, well, why are they lying? What are they hiding? What else? The most important question, what else did they lie about? That's what I'd like to convey to people.
Boom.
Ask that question.
I'll tell you one I've been scratching my head on, because I saw a pretty intriguing picture online. Elvis Presley, is he still alive or is he dead? I mean, come on. I saw a picture from Graceland of some old dude looking through the window. It could be we don't know.
It might have been him. I mean, I've even looked into cloning centers, man.
Oh,
have you looked into clones and all that?
2045 initiative. I was just talking with Ashley the other night about that. Matter of fact, she got her show coming up tomorrow night, kicking that off.
All right.
But absolutely, cloning's a real deal. You go back into the 1940s. The Russians were actually reanimating body parts. They were bringing hearts and lungs back to life. They brought a dog's head back to life.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if it was because it was in black and white, and like the way they were dressed, or the fact of the matter is that they were like shining a light in the dog's. It's just a head of the dog, and it was flinching, and then they were like making loud noises by its ear. It was flinching, and then they were putting like something by its like mouth, and it was like licking its lips. I was like, that stuff right there. That's kind of makes you feel a little uneasy. I think you think about cloning, like you said, what aren't they telling us? What are they lying about? What are they covering up?
What are they hiding?
I want to talk about the agenda that you guys just brought up. Like, why would they say that the Earth is round? Remember, back in the day, everybody knew that the Earth was flat. This is years, hundreds of years ago. Everybody knew the Earth was flat. And AJ, we did a show on Alice Bailey. We talked about Alice Bailey before. And a 10-point
couple times.
One of her points was to take God out of the schools, take God out of situation, period. So let's think about this. Back in the day, hundreds of years ago, everybody knew that the Earth was flat. And then in 1962, they took the Bible out of schools. Because before 1962, the Bible was required reading in a lot of schools. You had to read the Bible. It was part of your studies, reading the Bible. So they took the Bible out of school in order to take God out of school. What else changed? The Earth wasn't flat anymore. It became round. It became round. So was that part of the plan? To make people believe, to take God out of the situation, out of schools, out of you. Are they hiding God from us? Because
in a word, in a word, in my opinion, yes, absolutely they are. Because the Ball Earth model, in my opinion, it's just it's dependent on throwing out doubt that there is actually a creator. Because if at some point everybody figures out that the Earth is the center of the universe, that means that somebody put it there.
Yep. It means we're important. So it means we're important. It means we are worth something. We're not worthless animals like evolution teaches. It means we are something, somebody of importance. And just imagine if it is flat and there is a dome over us and God is watching us and everybody knew that, how would everybody act? Would there be craziness right now? There would be no crazy. Right. There would be evil people. It's like if you're driving down the street and you see a cop. Let's say you're speeding down the highway and you see a cop 100 feet in front of you. What's the first thing you do? You slow down. You act right. Sit up straight. You got your seatbelt on. Hands 3 and 10 on the steering wheel, or whatever the protocol is now. But you're sitting there and you're doing the speed limit and you're acting right because somebody is watching you. Imagine if the whole world knew that somebody was watching them. Could they get over what he's got?
Well, hey, on that note right there, we're at the top of the hour. Let's take a quick break, play some ads. Everyone go grab a drink, make some popcorn if you want to. Let's play a couple ads, and I'm gonna roll out a song by a woman named Amber Plaster. Amazing voice. She's awesome. Matter of fact, thank you, Amber. I'm thanking you right now. She has agreed to do a song or two with me. So we will be collabing very shortly, which I am extremely pumped about. This woman's voice, I got told her, like, listening to her live, I'm like, you sound as well live as you do on an album. And a lot of bands out there, they put out a great album, but when you hear them live, they sound horrible. Not her. No, not her. God has blessed this woman with some amazing talent. So, Daryl, Carly, and Ninja, you guys want to mute your phones up while we do this, and then we'll be back in a second. In the meantime, everyone listening, this is the New Element on Infinite Source Broadcast Network. Topic tonight is Flat Earth Testimonies Part 1, and we will be right back.
Hello everyone, my name is Suzanne Marr and I'm founder of Bye Bye Blue Sky, and we have a passion for the planet. Bye Bye Blue Sky is a dedicated global public environmental movement who seeks to be a voice for all living creatures and ecosystems, and to protect human health and safeguard the natural environment, air, water, and land which our sustenance depends. We use education, peaceful protest, and creative communication to expose one of the world's largest and most significant ecological threats and preeminent disasters, commonly known as climate engineering or chemtrails. Please visit our website, byebyebluesky.com, and learn the truth about the sinister aerosol spraying. There are many media articles, patents, government white papers, which are available on our site, which attest to these programs. We also have awareness items, bumper stickers, t-shirts, which can be purchased, and brochures and business cards, which can be downloaded and distributed. There are a number of ongoing Bye Bye Blue Sky GoFundMe billboard campaigns in North America, the links available on our website. I encourage everyone to donate to these billboards. A few dollars can save the planet. Please also join Bye Bye Blue Sky on our Facebook page of the same name and meet dedicated and like minds. Thank you.
All right, before I roll out this next ad promo here for the show, The Open Door, this Michael Connolly, he was on here at one time. He actually branched out and created his own network, the Gateway Network, but I am going to pay him some respect, play the promo for his show. You can find him, through us, of course, but also check out the Gateway Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Open Door. I'm your host, Michael Connolly, and my co-host, Miss Eva Murmur. I'm a firm believer in the Constitution, and especially, the only Constitution, the organic Constitution. the one we live by now is just totally bogus and built around the needs of the corporate America.
The Open Door Show with Michael Conley. Every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. Broadcasting live with the Infinite Source Broadcast Network. Tune in Tuesday night for Our Reality with your host, Eva. 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. Right here on Infinite Source Broadcast Network.
Now loading. The new element. The new element. Now loading. What it has to do with is a New World Order agenda. The new element.
The elite have a Luciferian religion. They believe Lucifer is God.
My government's never lied to me, have they? Let's see, where should we start?
The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret. They have planned and are now leading us into a one-world communist government.
So what you gonna do about that? The New Element, Thursday night on Infinite Source Broadcast Network.
The new element.
Amber Plaster, song is titled Star Trails.
are back. This is Renegade Smith, joined by my man, Ninja Scroll, Carl Sunshine, Daryl Marble. You know, Amber Placer just mentioned something in that song, The Wheel in the Sky. Come on, think about that classic rock song, The Wheel in the Sky keeps on turning. We've heard it over and over again. So, yes, we are back. Topic tonight, Flat Earth Testimonies Part 1. Because there's going to be more. There's going to be more. It's got us all hyped. So, we are now in the second hour. If either one of you two have anything else you might have thought of to add to your testimony, go for it. Carly, and once you're done, just pass the mic over to Daryl, if you would like. And if not, let's tear this thing apart. Ladies first.
Okay, so can you guys hear me okay? I'm always paranoid about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, perfect. I don't know if I have really anything else to add to my testimony. I mean, I shouldn't say that because there's so much more in between the lines, that I can't really cover in just one show. But I think I covered the majority of, what just kind of like shocked me awake. But I will mention, that I feel for everyone out there that's going through this same sort of experience and that's awakening and is feeling very different than others. Listening to us four talk is just wonderful because we all have this common bond, and I don't know why we're different than everyone else, but for some reason we were chosen, to understand things differently or to be told or to see things differently. I'm not sure, where the line is drawn, that why we know and other people don't. But don't lose heart. Don't give up. When I was saying earlier that you have to kind of plant the seeds and you can't change people's minds, that doesn't mean give up on the people that you love. Just kind of, like I said, learn what you need to know to share the truth with them, and then let them take the initiative, let them want it. Don't force it down their throat.
That even goes to a level, just the level of truth itself. Maybe someone woke up to GMOs or poisons. Oh my gosh, what's up with this non-GMO project label I've been seeing on foods? You explain to them what that is, and I don't want a genetically modified organism. No, that doesn't sound too tasty. I don't want that for my children. And then you lead them and tell them, read the label. Read the label. There's apps you can get that direct you, and same with everything else under the sun that they're poisoning us with, whether it be our body or our mind. Mm-hmm.
Correct.
They are poisoning us.
There are steps that you can kind of take when you're sharing with other people. Like what you guys said earlier about, you talk to people, family members, friends, even strangers, and they say, I don't understand why the government or those that are in control would ever lie to us. And you start rattling off all these things that are wrong in society, like the fact that we are given a poison called fluoride in our water, and it's in our toothpaste, and we're lied to about it. We are giving all these toxic chemicals in vaccinations, and we're told that they are good for us. We're given genetically modified organisms in our food. Like just the other day, somebody I was working with, they grabbed some kind of junk snack off the like snack bin at work, and they bought it and they brought it over to me and they said, why does this say may contain genetically modified food? And it kind of struck me as funny.
Was it a Pop-Tart?
It was a Pop-Tart.
Hello, there it is. I was just talking about it the other night. Yep. On the back of the Pop-Tart label, it says this product contains genetically modified food or materials, whatever.
Yep.
Ingredients.
Kind of like it was like a light bulb went off in this person's head a little bit. Like they still didn't really get it, but they came to me to ask about it because they know that I'm, into these alternative things. And I said, well, yeah. I said now in society they're finally starting to label it. I was like, for years and years and years, you've been being fed this food. Look into it. And it's going to open up your eyes. And he bought it, threw it away, and it scared him. But it was kind of neat to see that eye-opening, shock. I guess you have no idea how deep the rabbit hole goes.
It's funny though, because like once you like get across to somebody, and they actually, and I'm gonna actually quick relate a story. When you see them wake up, they get like this gleam in their eye. There's like a glow, like a glistening in their eye. It's like, well, you're awake. Mm-hmm. I just put a fresh battery in your battery pack, and you woke up. But I work with this guy named Dave, and I told him about microwaves. I said microwaves are no good. They destroy all nutrition in the food. So basically, what you're eating is like rubber. There's no nutrition in it. Well, he didn't believe me. And he actually saw an article in a newspaper, and then made him go, huh. So he started researching it. He goes, Renegade, you're right. He goes, yep. The microwave is no good, and they actually wanted to, over in Europe, they wanted to ban them and stuff like that. I'm like, I know all this. So this is how hardcore I am. After knowing that he was awake to microwaves, I saw him microwave or something. One day I walked at work, and he's heating up his dinner. I said, I thought I taught you better than this. I thought you woke up. And he goes, well, what do you mean? I said, you're using a microwave. I said, didn't I tell you that I eat my food cold because I want the nutrition? I go, why are you microwaving that? And he just gave me that dumb look. He gave me that fluoride stare. So what I did, I walked up, I grabbed his food out of the freaking microwave, and I whipped it against the wall. And I walked away.
Wow, what a statement, though.
No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do all that. I threatened him. No, that was a joke. No, I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm hardcore, but I'm not cruel. I'm not going to take a man's food. But to make a statement, I did walk up there, and I shut it off. I said, "You're going to eat that cold. You're not. Yeah. You are not. You're not going to ruin the nutrition." And it's showing about microwaves. That's going to be another show, trust me, because they are no good.
Oh, but honestly, you were, the nitty-gritty of things is that you were trying to protect him, whether he got mad or not,
Right.
But anyway, I don't...
But could you imagine if I would have thrown his food against the wall? That would have been hilarious. So I would have had it on camera.
He would have never forgot it, though. But anyway, I don't want to...
Right.
I don't need to add anything else to my testimony at this time because I want to save time for Daryl as well. But if we get time later, I'd love to share some theories that I've created. But I want to let him. I'll pass the peace pipe to him, and he can finish if he has anything to add to his testimony.
Well, all right. But hold on a minute. No. We're going to go in a different direction with Daryl. I'm going to get him on blast time right now. Ninja, you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
We're gonna get him pumped. Yo, Daryl.
I'm ready.
Now, I know how Carly feels about trolls, ripping her and putting her down and acting like they know something that she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because she already put out a video about it on her YouTube channel, and we're gonna give her a chance and give you a chance later to tell people where they can find you. But let me ask you something, man. How do you like them trolls? How do you like them trolls coming on and talking against you, putting you down, cussing you out, telling you that you're dumb? Now, your video was titled Flat Earth Attitude. Now, I gave it another title because when you did this video, you had what I call flatitude going on. You had flatitude. Right. Now, this ties in to SE, offensive. And I want you, and I was telling you before the show, I was talking with Carly about this. Now, Carly had mentioned, we were talking about how people get really upset, and I was mentioning this earlier. When you mention Flat Earth, for some reason, people go off the hinges. Like, the door blows off the hinges, and they come out screaming and hollering like you are just like Satan on Earth. Sorry, I'm not. I've done some more research, and I don't believe NASA's fake photos anymore, and prove to me that there's a ball, and because there ain't none. But you made a lot of good points because you about fed up with these trolls. And you come up with the Flat Earth offensive because we found a lot of listeners right now have found themselves on the defensive. Now, you want to flip the script because, like I said earlier in the beginning, like play respect, be cool with each other, You don't have to go derogatory terms and make insults, but respect each other's thoughts. But Carly's, what she was saying was, a lot of times people that believe in the globe theory will conquer a conversation or try to conquer conversation. And a lot of times when it comes to a person who does believe in a flat earth, by the way, I don't like that term. I think there could be a better one, but hey, if that's a title, that's a title. I'm there. But I see a lot of them bowing out rather than getting arguments, and they don't go to insults. Now there are some that do, but there's so many more that don't. We don't play that game. We try to respect people. We get it because we were there at one time. We believed in that there was a curvature, even if they can't prove it. They tell us they can bend water. But they can't. Show me. How far out do we got to go? But you did that video, and you were hyped. And you got me hyped now. And you had me hyped then when I watched it. And I said, you got that platitude going on.
Let's hear him hype, man. Let's hear him hype.
That's right. Man, so you right now got to talk about the Flat Earth Offensive. Hashtag FE Offensive. Get into it, my man. You got it. Run.
All right, so what this Flat Earth Offensive is all about. All right, this is, like I said in that video, this is an attitude adjustment. For too long, look, the way I started off, look, I'm not used to trolls. I'm not used to people attacking me online. This all just started like 2 weeks ago after I did that video where I took the spirit level onto the plane and disproved the, pilot allowing for curvature for up to 5 miles.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Don't spoil it because we're going to go into what you did with a level on a jet.
All right, my bad. So
you didn't go into it. I'm going to say don't go into that part, but go ahead, continue the story because you're going to talk about that. That's huge.
Okay, got it. So after I posted that video with that experiment, wink, wink, people started attacking me on YouTube. You're an idiot. You're a retard. God, you're so dumb. I've seen the curvature. Gravity keeps the bubble in the center. God, you're such a moron. Oh, my God, it's good to see people getting involved in medieval sciences. God, every insult that people could throw at me. And, for about 5 minutes, my feelings were hurt because I was going back and forth with these people. I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to show you that you've been lied to, and that's the bottom line of the thing. So I was feeling bad about this thing, but, when we get into that position where we start to feel down or dejected, you need to get your power back. So the way I got my power back, I got mad. So, I started going back at them on Twitter, going back and forth with these guys. And, as soon as somebody would say something about a flat earth post, I would post up. I would put the little fist and the little pow, at the end of it, I would put Flat Earth Offensive or FE Offensive because, we're always defending ourselves against what we know to be true. But when these trolls come after you, and there are some paid trolls, there are some people who are just regular people asking questions, going on, and just calling you names because, being who I am and the way that I look, black guys with braids, we get a bad rap in the media. So, people feel like I'm a thug. I might, I'm uneducated. I'm probably walking around with my pants sagging. I like trap music. I hate trap music. But, they just kind of society looks down on guys who look like me. So having that attitude, they just think I'm dumb. So they'll talk to me like I'm dumb, even after that. So, I just got mad, and I just started going back at these guys, and I started hashtag FE Offensive. I'm like, yo, I'm on the offensive now. And, after that week of going back and forth with the trolls, I just went to a quiet place, buy some water. I'm like, look, the bottom line is bodies of water don't curve. So I took my new camera, and, zoomed it in across the lake, zoomed it back out, got it in front of the camera, and I just went off, dude. So, I was pissed. I was done. And that was pretty much it.
You definitely went off.
I had to get stuff off my chest.
But you said you brought up so many good things. You're like, I'm walking on the top, and you mean to tell me you're walking upside down below me? And I sent you them that I made. Your people are standing on the top and are digging down through the earth. You take a globe and imagine a man at the top. All right, if you have any G.I. Joes or like He-Man or She-Ra or Rainbow Bright, I don't care, My Little Pony, okay? Pretend that they have a shovel. And you go get that globe. If you got to get back to your library or your old kindergarten classroom, because that's where the indoctrination begins, you go take that globe, okay, that's tilted at 66.6 degrees. Well, when you take 23.4 and square it, 666. Yep. A hint. But you take your little action figure and you put it at the top of that globe, okay? Now, if you really want to make it interesting, spin that thing and just drop your action figure on it and watch what happens. Oh, your action figure's going to fly off real quick. But, hey, they tell us this is how it's all possible because of something called gravity. Anyway, put that action figure above it and pretend it's digging its way down through the ball to the bottom. Get a hole. Go out in your yard right now. I challenge everyone listening. Go out in your yard right now. You ain't going to make it very far, trust me, because your muscles will tire and you ain't got the means to go that deep. But they're going deep, and they came to a dead stop. Kola Peninsula, the Russians did it. 7 miles down, they couldn't go any deeper. They literally could not go deeper. Anyway, you take your action figure, put it at the top of that globe, okay? And just pretend that your little action figure is looking down like you would be if you're digging a hole. And you start at the top. You're up in the Arctic Circle, and you're going to dig your way down. You are digging crazy person. You are all fire digging. You're digging, you're throwing dirt over your shoulder. And I'm going to tell you something, that dirt is making a pile of dirt bigger than a pyramid. But they are just digging, and it's just piling up. That dirt's piling up, digging down. You're just digging your way through the globe, okay? NASA's globe. When you get to the bottom of that globe, you're digging down. Do you mean to tell me you're coming out right side up? What the heck just happened there? Magically in the middle?
It's insane. It's insane.
This is the stuff that escapes people, Carly. It escapes them. You are digging down. You mean to tell me when that shovel pokes through the bottom, all of a sudden you're hanging out with the Aussies like we're all right side up? They're going to be like,
right,
poking out of the ground.
Let's look at this.
Like a bunny cartoon or something.
If you were to, okay, hypothetically, if you were to dig a hole straight to the middle of the earth and jump into it, if you jump, gravity apparently, in the heliocentric model is going to pull you down through that tunnel. But at what point does the gravity on the other side? But what point does the hypothetical gravity on the other side, if you're digging a tunnel the whole way through, when does that start to work on pushing you back towards the middle of the earth? You know what I mean?
When does it pull in the opposite direction?
Yeah.
When does it pull in the opposite direction?
Correct.
When are you getting pulled and when are you getting pushed?
Yeah. Are they saying that if you dug a tunnel clean through from one side to the other, that you would just be suspended in the middle because the gravity would be equal, pushing you on both sides? I mean, it's ludicrous.
You just start spinning in a circle. Here's another
Listeners,
point.
Do you hear this?
We're getting back to the planes. If you're flying in a plane, and the Earth is rotating in one direction, and you take off in your plane in the opposite direction of the Earth's rotation, and your destination is on a part of land that's, you're flying towards your destination, how do you land? The Earth is moving, isn't it? And the plane is moving in the opposite direction. So you have to compensate for that. And then it's the same way the opposite way, though. If you're going the same way of the Earth's rotation, you have to catch up to the Earth to land.
Yeah.
The way we rationalize that is the Coriolis effect. It's all about the Coriolis effect is what they tell us. But, that was in a...
Well, explain that. Explain that, Darryl. Explain that real quick.
The Coriolis effect, if I understand correctly, and I might not, it's the way that they justify... like snipers and let's just say snipers. I was going back and forth with a guy today on Twitter. He's talking about how snipers have to compensate for windage, elevation, and the Earth's rotation. I'm like, no, they don't.
No, that last one that's false.
And then there was Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about how the football went in at the end of that game in overtime and went in because of a 1/3 rotation of the earth.
It went down to a field goal kick. It went down to a field goal kick and it hit the upright. But he calculated it though. He pulled out his paper because he's a brilliant mind. Remember, he's an actor, but he's like a master of calculus and all these other crazy scenarios that don't mathematically. It's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo trying to prove nothing because he doesn't know what he's doing.
The whole effect in that they're talking about is just something that you can't prove none of that. Nobody can prove any of that stuff. They just come up with big words and say this is this effect and this is that effect. It's just like making up a disease. You have burnt laptop disease.
Big pharma.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's just that they make up big words, and because he's Neil deGrasse Tyson or Stephen Hawking or whatever supposed brain person it is, you believe it. You just believe it without, you just take whatever they say, and you without any type of investigation or any questioning, you just accept it. And we're looked at funny because we don't accept it because it's not true, and we don't accept it because we have proof. The proof we have is in the only truth that there is in this world, and that's the Bible. That's the proof that we're coming from. Now you can't reach unbelievers with that. You cannot reach unbelievers with the Bible proof. But there's other proof outside of that besides the Bible. But you can reach Christians. Go ahead.
Ninja, people want to believe Neil or Shilnai, perverted guy. I've said that twice now. Listeners, if you don't believe me, go check out his actually, I don't know if you want to or not, but it's called Bill Nye Saves the World. He doesn't save anything. He's going to pervert your mind. He's a screwed up actor, okay? But I mean, you talk, all the, and the dude in the chair that's supposedly dead already. They're out there saying this and saying that, and people believe him. Stephen Hawking. People believe this stuff. Well, people also believe the president when he says that he's going to do this and that for the country. I mean, come on, people are gullible.
People believe that Obama's dad was that Kenyan dude too.
Yep.
That ain't his pop, man. He don't like that dude. Look at the pictures.
Frank Marshall was.
Frank Marshall Davis. That's his pop. Yeah. They'll put this Kenyan dude up there with a square head and big high cheekbones and say that's his dad. And this dude don't look nothing like him. He has no features of that guy.
Yo,
but we
check
believe
this out. Believe that. Believe that.
Go ahead, Kaylee. Go ahead,
everything that we're talking about right here, people believing in the Coriolis effect, people believing that gravity exists, and people believing that we live on this spinning pear ball. All of this is what I would consider humans and society having such a distorted, how do I want to say, people are so far
view of reality.
Yes, so far distant from actually understanding how to observe their world. People don't understand how to actually look at something and see that that's truth. They take what they know as truth and what they believe from what they're told and what they see on the media. I mean, people just need to go out. If you're listening right now, go outside when you're able to and look at the sun and look at the moon. They are visually similar size. Do you feel like you're spinning? Is there any evidence that the earth is moving? No. When you look out over the water, trust what you're observing. Like, people are so far distant from trusting their own bodies. We just want someone else to tell us what is truth. Same thing with Obama's parents. Same thing with what we see on TV. We want someone to tell us what's true because we don't want to take responsibility for like our own life and what we know as truth. People
and that's a
don't
shame.
care. Apathy.
That's called mind control. That's called mind control.
I told this story.
Should be.
Yeah, exactly right. And I've told this story before on our network, Renegade, about my son's car. He had my son got a car and he was starting it up, ready to drive it. And on the dashboard it said that he was low on antifreeze, low on coolant. He said, "Dad, I'm low on coolant." I said, "Pop the trunk." Pop the hood. He popped the hood, I said, Charlie, I know, don't laugh at me. I said, pop the hood. So he popped the hood. I'm excited. So I'm looking at the antifreeze.
He's excited. He's pumped.
I said, son, it's got antifreeze in it. It's at the right level. And he goes, but Dad, and he's sitting in the car, but it says I'm low. I said, son, get out here and look with your own eyes.
Yep. Yes.
And
you know what that was?
Good example.
You know what that was? The person who had it before him, or that sensor dipped and it said it was low. You have to reset that computer. Computers are dumb. Let's be real.
That for me, that wasn't my concern. My concern was his belief of that computer rather than going out and investigating and see for himself.
It was
rather than trusting himself.
So I said this. I brought that all back into the worldly stuff. I said this is exactly what the world does, son. You did exactly what the world does. You believed what that thing said instead of going out and finding out for yourself. And I said, so you can't believe these sensors. You got to get up and look. If the car says you're low on oil, go check your oil. See if you're low on oil.
Right. Don't take their word for it.
You can't take these sensors' word for it. You got to see for yourself. So that was a learning lesson for him.
Oh, but then you have the people who will take their car to the shop and pay $400 because, that garage just ripped them off because, rather than them checking it, they took it to a garage and they go, your oil's low, but you also your transmission's going, and this is a problem, that's a problem. Well, now the garage wants your money, so they just sucked you in, just like NASA.
That's the thing. The bottom line is we are all being told what to believe, and instead of people going out like Carly said and looking for themselves to see, I tell people all the time, you go out there and you do a circle and just look around in a circle. Is anything curving anywhere? Look at them stars. Ain't that star the same as it was last night? Ain't that star? That's the same star we seen in the same spot.
The stars never.
Look at the sun.
The stars never change.
Look for yourself. Y'all just look at what you see, and then you tell me. It's like when they tell me when the news says that unemployment is dropping and the economy is doing great. I say to my kids, look outside. How many bums you see out there? How many people you see unemployed? How many brothers you see walking up and down these streets with no job, with their pants hanging off their butts? How many people you see selling drugs out here? How many you see?
Exactly.
Is that unemployment? Is that unemployment better? It's not better.
Hey, and for the listeners, real quick, just to touch on that point, if you honestly believe the crap you hear on fake news about the unemployment rates and when this guy comes into office, all of a sudden it goes up and, we're looking good. It's all bull crap. It's made up. It's false. It's junk. But, hey, we need to hear.
When they talk about unemployment numbers, they don't factor in the people that stop claiming unemployment. They don't factor that in. They don't factor in the people that don't have enough a job that pays their bill, that have part-time jobs, that work from full-time to part-time, that are underemployed. They don't factor those numbers in. When people don't report the unemployment for a couple of weeks, they take them out of the system. So then it makes the unemployment rate go up. But that don't mean that unemployment is better. It just means that more people ain't claiming anymore. They can't. They're done claiming. They can't find jobs. They just quit.
You make me think. You make me think of Planned Parenthood and their botched freaking numbers. But hey, hold on a minute here. We're getting close to the end of the live feed. We need to hear the man with his little scientific experiment that he did, which was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. I'm telling you right now. Daryl, talk about the level. Talk about your little getting in that jet and getting up there 35,000 feet and not seeing a curve, by the way, when you looked out that window, because people told you there's one, but you saw flat. You saw a flat horizon. And you took a level.
Yeah, horizon.
And I
saw an horizon.
Hold on one second.
Line.
Daryl, before you even talk, I laughed so hard because if I was you in that seat, I would look at that lady and go, why are you bringing a stinking dog on this jet? And why does that dog keep rubbing its stinky self up against me? I think it's a mutt. Really? Someone had a dog on that jet?
It was
that
a cute
blew
dog.
my mind.
I mean, he only barked at me one time, you know?
Oh, let's throw this. Open the door, throw this thing out, and give it a parachute.
I love the animal.
That would drive me nuts.
A little bit. I mean, the dog the dog behaved actually pretty well the whole flight. It only barked one time.
A dog on an airplane? I thought they were supposed to be in like a package or like a kennel and put in like the down area of the jet, like the cargo section. I don't think you could bring a lap dog with you on a jet.
Yeah, she had the kennel. The kennel was actually under the seat in front of her. So, I mean, I don't think she could have the dog in the little kennel and then stuffed it under there. That would have been like animal cruelty. That would have been a whole different issue. You know?
But what if Snoopy needed to take a poopy and it was on your lap? I'd have been like, lady, what are you doing? Get your dog. Take it outside. Take it outside of the leash.
Yeah,
Walk
because
that
was
wing.
actually like a 4.5 hour flight too. I'm surprised that
I know.
Hey, that was a good dog. That was a good dog, man.
All of a sudden you're sitting there now. Now she was to your right, so you're sitting there. All of a sudden your right foot starts getting really hot. Like what is going wet? What is going on down here? There's Snoopy peeing on your foot.
Right. Before you go ahead and tell everybody about the experiment, I want to know, like, what was she thinking when you were doing this? Was she asking questions about it, or did you explain what you were doing?
No, she was asleep, man. She was asleep.
She was out
the whole time.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. I was between two corpulent ladies, and I mean they were both well fed, and they just passed out. And I was very fortunate.
You say well fed, you don't want to do it.
No, I mean, I told you about it before. They hit the little snack bars and all that at the airport before we got in there. You know, they were like stuffed. It was early. It was an early morning flight.
Yo, come on, man.
You know, they just got on the plane.
That woman was out, man. She didn't hit no snack bar. She hit the bar itself, man. Give me like 10 shots of vodka before I get on this flight. I don't want to fly.
But both of it was weird. It was like the ladies were part of the experiment with me because I got between them and they didn't say anything to me about what I was doing. Nobody asked any questions. They both slept like the whole time. The dog was under the blanket, just kind of quiet except for that one bark. And I mean, it was all good.
That one bark.
So tell everybody what happened. Tell everybody about the experiment.
All right, so
yeah, this was. Hold on, Daryl. Listeners,
okay,
I'm gonna tell you something. This is thinking outside the box, or I should say, this is thinking outside the globe. The man.
Let me tell it, man. Let me tell it.
He's going to get the floor. But I'm gonna tell you something. When I first saw this, I was like, this is brilliant. This right here is brilliant because there's a lot of people that talked about, you know, the flight tests and the pilots. And I personally know one that is like, well, I used to be a pilot and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, tell me how much you dip the nose down when you're flying across. You know, you always got to be dipping the nose down if you're going to compensate for the curve. With every mile, the Earth is supposed to curve 8 inches. Okay, listeners? Mm-hmm. You have to understand that. For every mile that you're looking or flying, based off of their numbers, what they tell us is true, the Earth curves 8 inches. Now, this man, he wasn't happy with that. He wanted to do a little experiment. So he took a level with him. And he brought a level on an airplane.
Man, let him tell it, man. Well, you
and he's going to tell it right now. Go for it.
All right. So a couple months ago, you know, at work I get a opportunity to sit with these guys. They're my transportation crew. They upload and download vehicles. So I'm sitting down talking with them about flat Earth every now and then. I'll come through, we'll have a little session at their lunch break and just, you know, talk at feet for a little bit. And, you know, they're telling me about these different things that they got their arguments about this and that. And, you know, one day after work, I just ran to Lowe's and I picked up a 9-inch spirit level so I could just bring it in the next day like, dude, okay, tell me, how does this thing work if we're on a spinning ball? Because if it's level here in Tacoma and I take it over to Portland, I mean, the bubble shouldn't rest in the center, should it? Well, gravity will keep it in the center is their rebuttal for that, and that's got to be the most ridiculous thing you can think of, because gravity's affecting a bubble inside a level.
Hey, man, because gravity, everything's possible. The impossible, the impossible is possible because of gravity. I love that cop out all the time.
Right.
Oh, because of gravity.
They're Lord and Savior Gravitron. I'm telling you. So, you know, they just rely on gravity for everything. So, you know, I grabbed the spirit level and I said, okay, well, I'm gonna take a flight to Savannah to see my daughter on her 10th birthday. Hey, baby, and so I decided to take that on the plane, and I mean, I had actually recorded the experiment on the way there, but I didn't really like how it turned out. I didn't have all the numbers down, so I did some research while I was on the ground in Georgia, and you know, figured out that I was going to be on a Airbus A321, and looked at the specs on that and said, okay, so Airbus A321, the cruising altitude is about 34,000 feet. That's what the pilot told us. And the cruising speed is 515 miles per hour. So I went on Flat Earth No Troll, shout out to the crew over there, and I said, guys, I'm going to take my spirit level on a plane. I need somebody to hook me up with some curvature math. So, you know, they threw out the means and the information and all of that. I said, okay, so I'm going to go 200 miles. Now, how long would I have to record to do 200 miles? Because 200 miles is, you know, let me see. At 515 miles per hour, I recorded 23 minutes and 45 seconds of video. And I propped the spirit level on the tray table to, you know, get it to where it's level while we're at cruising altitude, or, you know, we're going cruising speed, cruising altitude, 34,000 feet, 515 miles per hour, 23 minutes, 45 seconds. We traveled 203 miles distance. And during that time, we should have compensated. The pilot should have dipped the nose in order to compensate for 5 miles of curvature. But I did that time lapse, and as you can see in the video titled the Flat Earth Spirit Level Experiment, Spirit Level Flight Experiment, the bubble, it was in between those two markers in the center the whole time. So, you know, I got off, I recorded that, and I was just like, wow. I think I just proved that the Earth is flat, you know, because I had looked on YouTube. I typed in, you know, spirit level flight. Has anybody else done this? I'm like, nobody else has done this, dude. So I'm gonna, you know, do this experiment, put it on YouTube, and it's gonna be fun. You know, just something to throw out there. It's like, God, look. So, you know, that's pretty much. I'm not even sure where the idea came from.
And I'll tell you where it came from. Your brilliance. And what people have to understand is the man is talking about a level. Every carpenter owns one. Every block mason owns one. When they're building your house, putting a level down to make sure everything is level. There's a little bubble in there, and there's lines. That little bubble has to be in between the lines to show that it's level. He's on an airplane. He's going on a jet. My fault, a jet. And it never dipped back. If it dipped back, that meant that they were constantly pushing down the nose of that jet to compensate for a curve that's not there. Exactly. That level was flat the whole time, and I got to give you props. This is so funny because at the end of your video, you whispered. I guess you didn't want to wake up the dog. You didn't want to get barked at no more. You're like,
right.
The Earth is flat. It's flat.
That was funny.
That was funny. Dude, I was excited as soon as I finished recording. I was like, oh, man, look, we're not compensating for curvature at all. This is going to be great. I'm going to put it on the internet, and, you know, people are going to figure this out, that the Earth is flat. You know, and this is an important thing for everybody to know because, you know, like I've been saying, we've all been lied to. That's what we've been talking about this whole time. We've all been misled about the very world that we live in. And, I mean, if you can think of any greater conspiracy theory that's been pulled off against,
I don't think there's any.
You know, the population, I think this is the biggest one. This might be the one that encompasses them all, to be honest.
You know, and that brings me to this question. Is this the great deception that the Bible talks about? Is this the great delusion that the Bible talks about? Because
you know what? Oh,
I think it is.
I believe so. And I was going to say that in my last video. I just uploaded that last night, titled "What is #FE Offensive?" And I was meaning to say that. I actually took some notes and I was going over them. And I wanted to say, if you are familiar with biblical text, there is something known as the Great Delusion. Think of any other delusion that could be grander than the world population not understanding the actual nature of the world that they live in. Mm-hmm. There is no greater deception than that.
There could be one. Hold on, there could be one, but they're going to play off of us. They're going to attempt to prove us correct. Okay, they're going to go, yes, okay. Through and Daryl, you made you basically said it in your one video. I can't remember. The attitude one, which I call flatitude, because you had that flatitude going on. But you're like, within 5 years, people are going to be thinking differently. We are going to make so much noise because, well, let's face it, when Barack Obama, and I played the audio clip earlier, and he goes, well, I don't have time to talk with the Flat Earther side, eh? Well, hold on a minute. No, you have plenty of time, dude. You play golf, like, on the weekends religiously. Like, you have plenty of time. You don't want to do it because they're going to box you in a corner, and you're just a mouthpiece. Let's be real. Mm-hmm. These people, these talking heads are a mouthpiece. So what they do is they use these talking heads to discredit things, as I mentioned earlier about the term conspiracy theorist.
Yep.
And people believe it. So I'm going to tell you, listeners, I'm telling you right now, when they start bringing these major mouthpieces on that everyone believes in, that the mass majority actually believes in, puts all their hope, trust, and faith in, when they start believing what they're saying, they're using those people as tools to discredit something that's going to hurt the bigger picture, the grand agenda. What I see coming out is them finally going, all right, yeah, we don't have any real pictures. And Darryl, you made a perfect point in your own video. You said, we have all these satellites. We're sending Voyagers out to supposedly Mars. Turn one of them around and give us a live feed video of the freaking Earth. There is none. They will never be able to do that, and they will never do it. And if they do, it's going to be fake. Because if it would be real, they would have done it already. They would have showed us where we live. They would have showed us what we live on. They don't want to do it because it destroys their agenda. Now, this is what I'm getting at. Carly was talking about aliens, the alien agenda. I can see them coming out and going, all right, yeah, well, here's the real pictures. It is a flat plane with a dome. We are contained, and aliens created this. So they're going to discredit God once again.
I can't see that. I think that it's like this. Like I think Carly might agree with me on this too. Is that the delusion is that the Earth is round. You got to make everybody believe that the Earth is round. Because by saying the Earth is round, you can bring in the Big Bang theory. You can bring in all these other theories that they have to create all these different solar systems and all these different planets and all this stuff. And then on top of that, if the Earth was flat and had a dome on it, like I said before, that means that somebody created it, that somebody is watching us, and they don't want that to be known. They don't want it to be known that there is a God. So they have to create a round ball with different types of planets and millions of galaxies all over the place, so that you can say that there's aliens on one of these galaxies that we don't know about, and aliens have visited us, and aliens made us, and we came from monkeys, and we came from monkeys because of the Big Bang, which created nothing out of something out of nothing. This is the whole agenda. It's to make, and the bottom line is the Bible states that, and I want to get into this next week. Next week I wanted to do a show on Bible verses that confirm flat Earth, and we're going to go over each and every one of them. But that's what I want to do. But the Bible confirms this, so they have to. What they have to do is discredit the Bible, because if the Bible is true, that means that God is the creator.
Well, hold on a minute. That goes back to what I was just saying. If they say that aliens created this, if they actually admit to flat Earth because it's getting so big, and people are putting pressure on, last time I saw, there was a petition going around saying we need to have a debate. The Flat Earth Society needs to have a debate, an open-air debate. They're going to take credit for aliens making this dome and putting us in here. It's not going to be about God. It's going to be, aliens created us. So that's going to play into effect as well. That's what I'm trying to say. They're once again going to hide God.
Yep.
And that's the scary part.
I agree with you. I agree with you in a lot of ways with this. I feel like the alien agenda, excuse me, could be their answer for Flat Earth. That's like their backup, Like if this does get so big, which I believe it will eventually be, there'll be a tipping point and it will be completely exposed. Their backup plan is then to let everyone know they're still going to deny that there's a creator as far as a creator God. But they're going to say something like the reason why the earth is shaped the way it is and that they messed up and thought it was a sphere, whatever their answer is that because we were enclosed by these, aliens. Kind of like Scientology would probably,
Carly, this
in there.
plays into exactly what you talked about with your testimony.
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking about the Antichrist for a while, and I've been trying to, do the math on it. 2 + 2 = 4. I came home one night after band rehearsal, and I came in, I was getting something to eat, and I was watching the late night info commercials for some reason. I don't know why. I guess the channel was just there when I turned it on. There's a book out called The True Faces of God, or The True Face of God, and it's about how these aliens are creators. And to me right there is, for one, Antichrist, because it takes away all focus on God. But if they finally came out and said, hey, yes, okay, it is flat, you got us boxed in the corner, they're going to have to justify a lie, and which I'm sure they would do through it.
Here's the thing. The lie that they would have to justify would be too big. Because not only is the Earth round, but it's millions of galaxies and more, and millions and millions of galaxies all around us. Now, how could they say that the Earth is flat? Okay, you're right, the Earth is flat, and aliens created us. But then, who could believe that after all of the stuff they've been telling us? Who could believe that? Okay,
the reason they might believe it if they have a giant, Project Bluebeam hologram.
Thank you. Yes.
Aliens land on Earth.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about who could believe the lie who could believe the truth that we know of, and they say, okay, you guys are right, the Earth is flat. We were wrong about the Earth being round, but they'd have to be wrong about a lot more than that. They'd have to be wrong about millions of galaxies.
You're right.
They'd have to be wrong about. It's too much for them to say that it's to agree with us. It's too much. They have to stick with this.
Hey, hold on, everybody. We're down to 4 minutes left in live feed, okay?
All right.
I know it's getting late with you, Carly, because you're here with me. We do have an hour of overtime we can do. If you and Daryl and Ninja want to continue this conversation, we can do that. But anyone listening online right now, if you want to hear this, the rest of the show, you're going to have to call into this number right now, 319-527-6092. You can go to the Infinite Source broadcast page on Facebook, or you can go to the New Element page on Facebook. The promo is there with our pictures on it, and it has the call-in number. You need to call in order to hear us go into overtime, because at 11 o'clock in 3 minutes, this show, if you're listening online, is going to stop. You have to call in and listen over your phone. One more time. The phone number is 319-527-6092. And for anybody listening right now, thank you so much. Thank you for your time and tuning in and listening to these testimonies. And if any of you want to get a hold of us, get a hold of Carly, get a hold of Daryl, myself, Ninja. And real quick, let's do some of my last plugs here. Carly, where can people find you?
Sure. I'm on Facebook as Carly Sunshine Medrano, and my profile is public, so everything I post there, especially Flat Earth stuff, you can share it from my page. I have my Facebook group that I created. Is called Flat and Happy. It's a closed group, so you might wait a little while at the gate until I let you in, because I like to make sure whoever's coming in is a true Flat Earther. So be patient. And if you private message me, it'll get you in there even quicker. And my content channel is just called Carly Sunshine, and that is mostly a Flat Earth content channel.
We got 1 minute, 30 seconds left in a live broadcast. Daryl, give everybody your info where they can find you.
Okay, I'm a very, very simple man out here. You can get me on Facebook. Name's Daryl Marble. Name's displayed as it's read. Or on my YouTube, it's just d.marble. Very simple. Link up with me and the crew at Flat Earth No Trolls. Shout out to my man Rafael De La Rose and my protege Mike Priestley. That's all I got, guys.
Awesome.
It's been great having both of y'all. It's been real great having both of you guys. Go ahead.
Hold on. We ain't going nowhere quite yet. We got a bunch of people dropping online right now. They are popping into the studio.
Well, I just wanted to say real quick, thank both of you guys for coming on and for standing up for the truth. And I hope you guys stay on for the next hour. I'm going to stay on for the next hour, but I hope you guys stay on with us. And thank you once again.
Yep, I'm good. I'll stay on. Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. We got less than 30 seconds left. Anybody, once again, listening online, you have to call in 319-527-6092 in order to continue to hear the show. We are going to go into overtime. I think it's about time we kick it up to a higher notch. So, by the way, one quick announcement: this coming Friday night, tomorrow night, Ashley and Jessica are coming on with a new show titled "Straight Outta Captivity." It's going to be epic. All right, get ready. We're going into overtime now.
Let me get back on when we were talking. Let me get back on what we were talking about before. Why I believe that the great delusion and the great deception is the flat Earth, and them telling is the round Earth, the globe thing. And another reason why this is what I believe is because not only are they saying that there's hundreds and thousands of different galaxies, millions of miles away or billions of miles away and all that, but they're also telling us that the sun is 93 million miles away. Now, they're going to have to say, okay, it's not. They're going to say, okay, it's not. It's inside the dome. Then they're going to have to say that stars don't move today here. Everything that we know to be true, they're going to have to say, okay, we lied about. True. That's going to take a lot of, It's going to be too hard for too many people to swallow. It's going to be too much to swallow. They have to stick with what they're doing now.
Well, they're going to have a lot of explaining to do on many fronts. Hey, real quick.
Yeah, but this is a gigantic thing.
Here. Ninja,
I would like to comment on that also.
Go ahead, Carly.
Go ahead. Hold on. Hold your thought, Carly. 1 second. Anybody listening right now that I'm looking at your numbers, you're sitting here in the studio, if you would like to kind of join in and maybe present a question to Carly or Daryl, myself, or Ninja, press 1. When you press 1, it lets us know that you want to come into the show. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to warn you all right now. This is not a debate. If you come in here wanting to sling mud, I'm going to drop you. So if any callers right now listening live, you want to talk, come on, present a question in a professional form and nice mannerisms and be cool, and you're not trying out here to pick a fight or debate, I'll bring you in. Press 1. And we got 2 of them popping up right now. You guys ready?
Wait, let Carly answer. Carly was going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say something very quickly when it comes to talking about the alien agenda and the grand delusion being the fact that the Earth is a spinning pear ball, which I'm more apt to think that the globe Earth is the grand delusion. However, because of my experience when I was younger, I do see that the alien agenda has a huge part of it, and this is just what I want to say.
Right. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is that's all part of it. They have to say it's round so they can see it as aliens.
In the most simplest way of saying it, Lucifer or Satan has, from the very beginning, been jealous that he cannot create. So for him to try to take credit for creating Earth seems like something he would do. It makes sense. So that, in just the most simplest way, that might not be the complete. Well, I mean, that is the grand delusion, is that whether he does it through aliens or not, he's still in control of the grand delusion.
Exactly.
He is still the one that has been orchestrating the fact that he wants it to look like he wants to take away creation from God.
That's right.
So,
called hiding
by
God.
Doing that,
That's what they do.
Doing that, it discredits the Bible.
Yep.
By saying that God did not create the earth, it makes the Bible untrue. Because everything in the Bible has to be 100% true. And if one thing is wrong, everything else is wrong.
That's right. And remember one thing. Yeah. We're going to get into this next week. Ninja, when you want to bring on the Bible verses and all go biblical on this, God is not the author of confusion. And we're kind of talking about it earlier with standing on the ball. Who's looking up and who's looking down? There's no up or down. Everyone's kind of confused on what that is.
Right.
But hey, we got two people with their hands up. I'm going to bring in 540, and I'm telling you 540. I don't recognize the number. Shame on me if I'm supposed to. This is not a debate. Don't even go there. I will drop your call in a heartbeat. 540. You are on the New Element.
Yeah, it's me, Renegade, Dennis Ford, man. I'm not here today.
Dennis Ford. What's up, man? I haven't heard from you in a minute, man. How you been, brother?
Hi, Dennis.
We haven't heard from this guy on our show in quite a while.
Yeah, hello, everybody. And like I said, I would say long-time listener, first-time caller, but I have been on the show before. So,
nice.
Yeah, I definitely want to start off with, just giving you credit, man, for taking on this topic and addressing it, because as far as social media has been going, at least for the last, 2 years, I mean, people get so heated. They get so angry about this topic. And it reminds me of the shows I did on Fukushima and whatnot. You're not going to...
Yes.
The only people that are going to tune in are the people that are interested in this topic. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this, too.
Right.
Going on here, there's another point I want to bring up. I've known atheists, right? I've known people that don't believe in religion, period, that have come around through researching this and found the Bible and found Christ through this research, through the Flat Earth theory.
Through Flat Earth. You know what? I just saw someone post a picture of their new Bible, and they straight up said, I was an atheist until I found out about Flat Earth. I think
that was in Flat Earthers Through Christ or whatever that group.
Yes.
I'm in there as well. Like I said, this is a topic that I've been researching. I've been researching for a couple of years. It is one of the big ones. Yeah, exactly. I was going to get to Payday. You know what I'm saying? He caught a lot of backlash because people were like, oh, well, he's discredited. Everything he's ever done doesn't matter because now he believes that the earth is flat. But if you listen to those songs, I don't necessarily recommend, he's not the biggest, there might be a couple cuss words in there. That's all I'm going to let you know. But in those songs, 2 or 3 minute songs, I mean, he's laying out all kinds of information that is going to make you want to look into this. And he inspired me to look into it because I wasn't really interested. A lot of people, when they look into this, they're not going to be like, well, a lot of people say, what difference does it make? We're fighting so many different battles. What difference does this make? But this is the biggest one to me. This is the biggest issue because if this is what it's mapping out to me to be, then like you guys said earlier, what else are they lying about? So that obviously, if they're lying about all these other things, how are we supposed to believe NASA and the globe, the little globe that they put in your classroom that they indoctrinated you with, since you were a child? So you have to question this subject. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I want to...
A good video. You got to think about it. What did they tell us before? Before, we knew the earth was flat. And when they wanted to take God out of the schools, that was part of the thing that came out of the schools. The earth being flat was taken out as well. Don't y'all see this? Alice Bailey said we have to get God out of schools. So they take God, they take the Bible out, they take prayer out, they took the flat earth out, and they replace it with evolution, they replace it with their science books, and they replace it with a globe.
Yeah, I want to talk about
and also, there was a Bible that Chase, props to you, brother, Flat Earth, Truth Rocks. He posted a picture of a Bible he found from the 1500s. It mentions Flat Earth in it. It mentions Flat Earth.
Yeah, I just want to point out something real too, Renegade, if you give me a few more minutes there, because like I said, this is very intriguing. This is very, very thought-provoking subject because, again, since we've been children, they've told us that this is what's going on. Also, if you look in the classroom, they'll pull down that map in front of the chalkboard, and it's flat. Yes. It's not a globe. It's just a flat.
Good point.
It's just some weird things going on with that. But also, like I said, just throughout the years of like looking at this and following it, because I may post about certain aspects of it, but at the same time, it's, I'm not interested in causing controversy or anything like that. It's up to the person if they really want to look into the subject. Most of what we research and what we look into, you can kind of just give people a kind of a boost for them to go look for themselves. And even my co-host on Friday night, I mean, Lee Perry, he doesn't want to hear anything about this. You know what I'm saying? He's like, this is crazy. This is just, we're dealing, again, we're dealing with so much. What difference does this make? But this kind of comes full circle, no pun intended, but this is, this could be the greatest illusion of all time painted by these people. And again, if anybody out there
really is.
Yeah, if anybody out there can provide a real picture of planet Earth, let me know. There were people that put bounties up. They put up thousands of dollars, prove it. But nobody can. Because NASA, NASA never tells the truth about anything in general, so.
Never a straight answer.
Yeah, so how are we supposed to believe them if they're in cahoots with the government and everything else? And it's just, this, like I said, this is very, this is a deep subject. You know what I'm saying? This is something that a lot of people.
Hold on, Denny. Hold on, brother. I know you're going to go off on this. Let's go back to 9/11. $2.3 trillion. What happened to it? What happened recently? $65 trillion went missing. Okay. Where did that money go?
Trillion.
Yeah, 6.5 trillion. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is what I was going to touch on.
Donald Trump just signed over $19.5 billion to NASA. Okay? Hold on. Wait for it. Where's that money going? They can't get into space. They've admitted it. They do low orbit. Well, Van Allen radiation belts. Hello. They're not going back to the moon. I got an audio clip to prove that. Well, they threw away the technology. Well, why would you throw away the technology, but yet you can go to Mars? $6.5 trillion. Donald Trump just gave NASA $19.5 billion. Now let's talk about black projects. Let's talk about funneling money. Let's talk about people who have their hands in the pot. Okay? I ain't done yet. I'm not done yet. So 9/11 possible. 2.3 trillion went missing. Okay. Now we got Donald Trump giving out $19.5 billion. I'm gonna tell you something. You pay me billions of dollars, I will prove to you through lies that we live on a ball.
Oh yeah.
Who's got their hands in the pot? Who has? Just like the war on drugs. Where's that money going? Where's the money going?
We all know who won the war on drugs, Renegade. We know drugs won that. But and same thing with the war on terror. But here's another thing to add to what you're saying. And excuse me, her name, I forgot her name, but the female was talking about this earlier. Yeah, with the possibility that they are able to paint or create illusions, and trust me, these things cost a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? This could be a possibility and a reality. You know what I'm saying? We've always talked about Project Bluebeam throughout the years. Trust me, I've been doing radio for over 5 years now. So, we got into these things many times. But, again, I don't really know where the money's going. But I can tell you, you know what I'm saying, if they can't account for the money, then it's just them covering their tracks. You see what I'm saying? They're just covering up their lives.
Exactly.
And if you look into it, they'll be like, well, you're out of your mind. This money, they can't account for this. Just like this whole theory that they've been telling us, like Ninja was saying, if this came out, if this would actually change all of our lives, if this was proven that the Earth is flat, and their whole system would collapse because people would be like, you know what?
Do it. It's too big a deal,
You've been telling this lie for so long.
Yeah, go ahead, Carly. Carly, go ahead.
Well, real quick, I just wanted to make a comment, and I've been trying to bring this up a couple times, but the reason why everything that you just mentioned about all this money that's wasted and all this money that we just allow them to take from us, you know why they get away with it? Because they're not accountable for their consequences or for their actions. You know what would change that? You know what would change that is if the Earth itself realized that there was a creator, because you know what happens? All of a sudden, everyone realizes they are accountable. They're
That's
responsible for what they do. They're responsible if their car runs out of oil, if you're listening earlier, and they don't actually physically go check it, and then, or if the car says they're running out of oil and they actually have enough oil and they put too much in, you're responsible for the consequences. You need to be held accountable for keeping an eye on your own stuff, your own reality.
That's right.
That is like the crux of the problem, and that's where.
And none of them want to take accountability.
That's what evolution teaches. That you don't have no consequences. You can do what you want.
It's just an accident.
Yep. It's just you're just an accident. You're nothing. You're just an accident. You're an animal. Go run around. Go poop and pee just like animals. Go have sex and do whatever you want. Go do whatever you want. Go pee anywhere.
Yeah.
You're an animal. You have no consequences. That's what all this comes around to. It all comes around to. It's all part of it. The globe, the Big Bang, evolution. All of this is all part of the same thing. Aliens. It's all part of the grand deception. They have to make you believe you are nothing. You are nothing. They have to make you believe that. And then say you were made by these aliens. And they have to make you believe that in order to discredit God and discredit the Bible.
That's another thing, Ninja, I wanted to touch on real quick. And Renegade, I know you got another caller, too, to get to. Also, I didn't know the show was live tonight. I thought for some reason this might be a replay or something. But what Ninja was talking about earlier with, when this does come out, absolutely, they're going to be like, well, we've been communicating with aliens. This is Area 51. All this is intertwined, and it's confident, it's classified information. We didn't want people to go crazy and whatnot. But, like I said, eventually there's a lot of heat around this subject, and I don't know if it's what's going on. I don't know what's going on in the last few years, but this subject has been in my news feed for the last 2 or 3 years constantly, and I'm in groups. Denny, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at things, I'm researching things on my own. So
Denny,
it's just a matter of time.
Denny, by the way, based on what you just said right now, someone posted a picture what is trending on Google, and flat Earth is huge. People are waking up and questioning NASA.
Like I said, man, I've had atheist friends of mine, you know what I'm saying, that don't even get into religion at all. And over the years, picking and prodding and posting and whatever they come across, it led them to the Bible and it led them to become a Christian. And that's, this topic has actually led more people to the Bible than a lot of other things, as far as secret societies and anything else we may research. And that's very powerful, you know what I'm saying? And that means that they can't disprove it. You know what I'm saying? Like Ninja was saying, if there's something wrong in the Bible, that means the whole Bible's wrong. And when it comes to this, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You have to
the Bible says it, and the Bible says it, God says it, and I believe it. That's what it is. It's the truth. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. He says he is the truth.
Yeah, but imagine, Ninja, when people die, okay, and dying is a horrible tragedy. I've always thought about, afterlife, after we pass on. After people die, that's got to be a shock to them to be like, you know what, your government, NASA, everybody was just lying to you, and this is what we really live. This is where we're at as a human species. You know what I'm saying? And it does tie into everything.
Yeah, and it says in John 8:32 that I am it says you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Right now, people are in bondage to this globe thing. People are trapped in this. They're slaves to this. They're not.
I didn't even know about the system. I didn't even know about the whole system. Yeah, Renegade, I want to thank you because I didn't even know about Daryl and his YouTube channel and everything like that. So I'm definitely going to check that out. But again, just people out here doing their own research.
Before I bring 870 in, the other caller with their hand up, I want to hear from Daryl. What do you think about all that trillions of dollars that's missing? What's going on with that?
Look, I mean, if you take some time, you got to look into these black programs. Like, I mean, a lot of people don't even know about DARPA. They have on like the cloning centers. I've seen. I haven't gotten into a whole lot of this stuff because it's actually freaking.
No, I'm sure. Real quick, I think David Rockefeller's brain is somewhere on ice. You know what I'm saying? Even though he passed, I'm pretty sure they're waiting on the robots and everything.
Deep underground military bases.
See this? Yeah, this ties into what I'm gonna let him finish, but this ties into something that me and Renegade have covered over the years with the 2045 initiative. Is that there's a reason why these people want to become immortal and they don't want to die because they know the truth. They know what's going on. They're afraid to die because they know where they're going.
Is that part of the Bible? In the Bible, it talks about people that can't die but want to die.
Well,
a man born without natural affection.
They want to die, but they can't. They're in so much pain, but they can't die. That is biblical.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And I mean, I actually saw a video of the idea about that, and I mean, that was actually the characteristics of what we would call a zombie apocalypse. You know,
you're right.
He got into how
predictive programming that we keep getting with the zombies.
Yeah, it went into how Jesus came back after 3 days, the resurrection and all, and it also said that a lot of other people came back to life during that same time and presented themselves to the city. So I mean, picture that. A lot of people died, recently, and then they all go back to the city like, hey guys, what's going on? Everybody's like, dude, you're supposed to be dead. I mean, that doesn't that sound like The Walking Dead? It sounds like a zombie apocalypse, like in biblical days. And he went.
But we've all seen Terminator too. We've seen Skynet and what Skynet is capable of through movies.
Yes.
And this ties into a lot of it as well. You know what I'm saying? They have drones now that they can remote control, and this ties into the teens and everybody that grew up in mine. I don't want to show my age, but like growing up on video games and things like this is very easy for them to indoctrinate people into the prison-industrial complex with their machines, and that's where a lot of the money goes that the Pentagon loses.
Let me tell you, it all ties into the mark of the beast. It all ties into the mark of the beast. Is the mark of the beast a chip, or is the mark of the beast something that they do to you, to your DNA, to make you live forever? Is it a transhumanism thing, where
you have songs about
defiled.
This, Ninja Scroll. You know,
yeah, with the temple that God calls our body His temple, it's been defiled by Satan by changing of our DNA. Is that the mark of the beast? The microchip could be part of it, but the actual mark of the beast is your temple being changed. The temple of God, which is your body, that the Bible talks about being changed.
Ninja, they're changing it every day. Chemtrails,
and this
vaccines,
has been happening.
Medicines, foods.
Yep. But this is nothing new. As far as Satan trying to change humans, it's been happening since the beginning of time. I mean, since the sons of God came down and had relations with the daughters of Eve. It's been happening.
People don't understand.
And
people don't understand why he did that, because back in Genesis 3, when he deceived Eve, God told Satan that she was going to have a son that was going to step on his head so hard that it would bruise his heel. So Satan's whole objective from the beginning, since then, was to stop Jesus from being born. So in order to do that, he had to corrupt the seed. And that's what he tried to do.
And I recently told somebody who's like, I recently told somebody, they're like, just get rid of the Old Testament and go with the New Testament. No. Not only does the Old Testament refer to Jesus, the person that's going to stomp on the head of Satan, but also Jesus himself referred to the Old Testament. So why would you get rid of it?
Jesus made the earth. Jesus was the Word. He was God and was with God. John 1. That's what it says in John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And then if you continue reading in John 1, it tells you who the Word is. The Word was the light of the world. The Word was Jesus. The Word was being prophesied 6 months before he came. John the Baptist was in the wilderness talking about the Word. Who was Jesus?
I agree. And also, I just want to point this out, too, because like I said, throughout the years, me and Renegade and multiple people have done shows about technology, but just going out in society. I mean, even if you go somewhere right now, I mean, people are walking around looking at their cell phones. There's very rarely that you can talk to somebody when they're not typing on the phone or looking at their phone. And I think that all ties into, what's in the cards for these people. You know what I'm saying? They give it to us as a convenience. Oh, this is convenient for you. You know what I'm saying? You need a calculator. You need a smartphone. You need it because everybody else has got one, and it all ties into it. That's part of the whole
all of it.
The Walking
Dead.
It's
also big.
You know what I'm saying?
It's also a big distraction. Everyone's got their head in it.
Right. Yeah, we got another caller in.
Yeah, 870. I'm bringing you in right now. You are live. 870. Welcome to the New Element.
Hey, thanks, fellas. I appreciate you all letting me in on the fun here. I'm basically
Hey, thanks for hanging tight, man.
This,
sorry to keep you on hold for so long.
No, you're good. I say this respectfully. I'm not really familiar with any of you all. I say that from a humble place. I don't really know what you all are about. I'm here kind of as an online supporter of Daryl. He's a buddy of mine
nice.
that I met in some flat Earth group. But to his point, when you look at the Bible, I have to say a lot of my friends in relation to the the zombie apocalypse and that sort of thing that's been pushed on us. If you look at the end times, it's pretty incredible as you consider the fact that those in Christ are raised from the dead. Why would we not ever consider the fact that those not in Christ could possibly be raised from the dead also? So just the implications of that also, all
Good
happening
point.
at the same time. It's pretty powerful. And something else I would ask you all to consider in your upcoming shows is the fact that a lot of flat earthers are coming at this thing from a very non-biblical point of view. I mean, we have the face of our movement, or some of the leaders. I mean, Eric Dubé, and don't make me go down the list. I think, God's used him in some ways, and that's just my opinion. We don't need to talk about that. But the point is, when these people are coming at this issue from a place of anything but a biblical point of view, it's concerning to say the least when you see these leaders, put as a face of this quote-unquote movement. So I think something I would just ask you all to humbly consider in your upcoming shows is, as these people are listening, I would just ask that you consider the fact that if Flat Earth is true and Hollywood and the media is promoting this alien invasion, for F's sake, the Catholic Church saying, hey, we're, ready here to welcome them and baptize them into the church.
Yes, which is true.
And why are they coming? And I think the answer is pretty obvious, but that's just something I'd ask you all to consider covering in your main show, because there has to be an answer. If this is all fake, there is no outer space, yet everyone's looking for these answers. Maybe there's a reason. And what is that reason? So that's just something I'm asking you all humbly to consider. So,
yeah, I think we kind of covered that. I think we kind of covered that a little bit when we talked about the reason of why they would say all these lies and talking about the globe and outer space being and where it is and the sun being 93 million miles away. And I believe we covered that. The reason is to discredit the Bible and to discredit God and say that God is not real, and in order to bring in their alien agenda.
But guys,
not just that, but just to say that God is not the creator.
But I mean, consider this. I have a wife who comes from a very strong biblical background, and we are not religious. Don't misunderstand. Like I said, I don't know you all's background, so I'm just throwing this out there. But we are not religious.
Where were you on that?
But the relationship thing is real. So as we're driving through these rural, states in the U.S., and we see this stuff, my wife to this day doesn't even want to talk to me about what she saw in the sky. So there are things that are there that have to be discussed. However, if we know that the earth is flat, which we do, and we know that there's these things that we can't explain, I mean, there has to be an explanation. Either it's a military thing, which I know we're not even trying to talk about right now, or
no, well, you're right. It's military.
Reality.
It's also spiritual. It's both
it's
military and spiritual.
Absolutely, very spiritual thing here, and I mean, the UN is already set up right now to come out and say, hey, we're your answer to whatever problem they offer. I mean, we don't even need to go down that road. I think we're all
or they create. Or they create.
Whatever they absolutely. But look at the freaking flag. I mean, you know, the answer's already in front of our face if we can just see it.
Yes.
So the point is, Catholic churches.
Hold on. I'm gonna call you out on that. What's on their flag, my man? What's on their flag?
Yeah.
Tell the listeners what's on their flag.
It's the UN flag is the flat Earth map.
There you go.
So, you know,
the UN flag is a replica of the flat Earth.
Hey, and I'm not going to
equidistant.
And also Anonymous uses that too, as the group Anonymous.
Yes.
If you're not familiar with them, they use the same symbol.
Scheme.
So, yeah.
They use the same scheme.
We're good, brother. Let's finish up.
Consider this real quick. I mean, I'm after the show. I'll shut up and let you guys talk about whatever you want to, but consider this one thing, and that is, if someone shows up saying they're not who they are, or someone basically shows up saying, "Hey, we created you." The overall point is this: the organization's already in place, the flag's already been there. I mean, we're really at the brink here, and I really believe in my heart that this information is being released. Universal law. Read the Old Testament. Read the New Testament. They can't do something without
telling us
out there first. And so if they get this in people's minds, and someone shows up saying, "Hey, we created you," talk about a great deception. My friend.
That's what I was talking about earlier. There's a book out about it.
Yeah, let me give you a specific reference in the Strongs. Look up the word G4108, because in 2 Thessalonians 2:11 it talks of the great delusion, and it specifically
we're just talking about that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm referencing. It specifically talks to the fraudulence or straying of orthodoxy, but then at the same time, that very same word references wandering stars. And that's a specific reference, G4108. And the root word
very
is plain, go figure. So.
Yep.
Wow, man, you threw more out there for everybody. Awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And hey, I don't need your whole name. 870, but I don't want to call you 870. Can I get a first name?
No. My Facebook name is Eric Jones. So I mean, I'm a friend of Daryl's.
Okay.
It's not hard to find names. Yeah.
Eric.
I
was just
next Thursday.
Yes.
Next Thursday you should join the show, definitely.
Eric, me and you were just going at it. Not going at it, but doing things on Daryl's posting.
All right, cool, man. Well, like I said, I'm not familiar with you all, and I say that from a humble place.
I'm AJ.
I mean, I don't know what you all are doing for the kingdom, but I mean,
hey,
you're in the right place,
I'm AJ.
my brother.
You thanked me. You told me that I read your mind. I'm AJ.
All right, cool, man. I remember.
You asked about the time. I said 9 p.m. and I gave you the link.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's who you're talking to.
I mean,
cool. Awesome, man. Thank you for calling in. That's awesome.
Hey, give me 10 seconds. My testimony, I grew up under a rock. I grew up under a rock, and when I went to college, somehow one of my friends brought up in the cafeteria the fake moon hoax, and I was, of course, beside myself and chiding them.
You're crazy.
When I looked into that, the next step, I mean, seriously, I'm not going to take much of your time. 10 seconds.
No, go ahead. No, Ninja was kidding around. He said you're crazy. He was just clowning around.
Yeah, I'm just
he was just poking fun.
The college I was in is independently ranked as the second strictest college in the nation, only to West Point, but it's a Christian university. So anyway, I read Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, and that opened my eyes. I literally want to say I wasted a decade of my life researching things that don't matter. Yeah. Steel beams don't melt from, plane fuel, whatever, But I'm saying the Holy Spirit revealed to me that after 10 years, I'm researching things that really don't matter. I got out of the research, tried to touch people's lives around me and focus on what matters. Fast forward a few years, my friend brings up Flat Earth, and the Holy Spirit very clearly put it on my heart, look into this. And I was like, that's kind of weird because you were the one to reveal to me not to waste my time on these conspiracies. And within a day or two, my mind was blown. The Jesus of the New Testament made perfect sense with the God seemingly said respectfully, and he knows my heart, hateful, killing God of the Old Testament. It all made perfect sense. And it was like Pandora's box reopening and his love just, realigning with my heart. So that's why now I'm out there preaching Flat Earth, because this truth is being released for a reason. So I don't think I'm going to end up a statistic for talking about this. At the same time, people's hearts who are open to the truth, you can't deny this stuff. So thank you for letting me talk for a second.
Hey, Eric, hey, for real, thank you for calling in and everything you just said, man. We're right there with you. For real, thank you.
Brother, thank you for calling in, man. And make sure you call in anytime, brother.
Absolutely. Call in anytime you want. And we're going to continue this. This is only part one, so there's plenty more to come, Eric. But, hey, once again, man, thank you so much, and for being proper when you came in. You made some awesome points. You made some really good points. So Eric, I'm gonna put you on mute because we're gonna start wrapping this show up. Danny, you want to? Much respect for you, brother. I've done so many shows with you. You want to give us a final thought, and I'm gonna turn the floor back over to Carly and also Daryl, and we'll wrap this show up.
I'm gonna be I'm gonna definitely check out the rest of the show. I can't really pinpoint who said it earlier, but yeah, we're kind of like chosen at this point to do what we do. And, it has to be something that you're passionate about. And like I said, you may lose some friends, but you'll gain some friends, too. You'll gain some people that are interested in this topic. And like I said, this goes into a lot of different other things. You can spin off and go anywhere you want. But like I said, this is something I've been researching for the last few years myself and still, looking into it. But the way it's all coming together, I'm saying it's just I want to do more. I want to let people know more about this subject, and I can't really do that until I sharpen my skills on the particular topic. So, yeah, Renegade, like I said, I didn't know. I thought maybe this might have been a replay or something that you were running here tonight because I didn't really see a promo, but that's probably my fault.
I didn't promote it for the sake of argument.
I understand that you're not really going to throw this show out there. Like I said, I've done shows on topics where
we threw it out there, but with the right people.
You know where I'm coming from, Renegade. We've done so many shows in the past. I mean, it's ridiculous. But
I know.
Yeah, it's just one of those shows where it's like the people that are interested in this, they're going to show up. And I was interested in the topic, and I knew you guys do a show on Thursdays, so I was like, yo, I'm going to check it out. I always appreciate what you and Ninja do, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the new element and everything you're doing, Renegade. And, thank you for giving me the opportunity here to express my view on this topic. And, I'm just going to hang out and listen to the rest of the show. And God bless you guys. Thank you for doing this show. And next week I'll definitely be checking this out.
Danny, I just want to say one thing because you – go ahead, Ninja. No, go ahead.
Thanks for coming on, brother. And you are always welcome on our show. You've always been a part of my life. You know what I mean? And I'm happy to be a part of your life. And you ever need anything,
Speaking of which, Ninja, I got to get in touch with you, man. I got to talk to you outside of the shows and Renegade as well. You know what I'm saying? Renegade, write my number down, after the show or whatever. And we'll talk.
Yeah, man. I'll get you my number too, man.
Yeah, I appreciate what you guys do, man. And like I said, God bless you for doing the show and everything you guys do. So. Yeah.
Hey, Danny.
I'll leave it at that.
Danny, I'm gonna play off you real quick because I know you helped Patty Monsanto with his promotion and all with his songs and videos and music and all. I'm gonna say one thing: bubbles in space. We got bubbles in space. Really?
Yeah, after the show, man. After the show, like I said, check out some of his music. I mean, recently he's done some things.
Chilling on the flat Earth. Life on the ball.
Flat Earth.
Life on the Ball
is at the beginning of that. Life on the Ball. ODD TV is another one too on YouTube. You can check out. This guy is doing extensive research.
Denny, I was just going to play. Odd TV basically is what it is. ODD TV.
Yep.
There's a bunch of stuff on there, a whole bunch. I was gonna play them, but we try to keep the language cool here. OD,
yeah, I understand.
Odd TV,
but they're doing
clean
a
up
show.
a little bit.
No, Renegade. I want to let you know before I get out of here. They're actually working on a live show with those two artists. I don't know where it's gonna be.
That's
probably
cool.
down south somewhere. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, even Payday, you know what I'm saying, caught a lot of backlash from that particular few songs that he did, and it's again somebody that's researching these things and looking into these things, and he makes music. So yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate what he does.
Right.
Even if I don't agree with everything, but you know what I'm saying, he's doing what he does. And yeah, after the show, you know what I'm saying, I know Renegade, but after the show, if you guys want to check him out, you know what I'm saying, he's on YouTube. He does videos just talking about this subject as well on his channel, along with everything else that we may discuss or talk about. But yeah, again, thank you, Renegade. I don't want to keep you guys much longer. I'm going to mute myself and just listen to the show. And definitely I'll be tuning in next Thursday. And, I have some plugs too. You know about the Friday Night Super Show. But in itself, that's another thing.
Truth emerges.
I'm working on my own show.
Good.
Renegade. I want to let you know. Eventually, once I get everything situated in my own personal life, I'll be doing my own show, and this may be a topic that I may discuss on, some of my shows coming up. So, yeah, thank you, Renegade, for everything you do, and Ninja, and all the people that joined the show here tonight. I definitely appreciate it. So, I'll let you guys
go.
Man,
thanks for calling in. Let's get to Carly. I know Carly's on a tight schedule. She's on on our time zone, me and Ninja's, and she's got to get up early. So, Carly, give us some last thoughts here real quick.
Actually, I don't work tomorrow, so I'm good, and I'm such a night owl.
Oh, hey, hold on. Cheers to you, because I don't either. I got to stay off as well.
I got to get up at 5. And I'm still hanging on this one, man.
Oh, I love
you. This is the type of show I like to stay on for.
Yep. Hey, I just well, Renegade and I have been talking late at night, and he's like, I got to get up at 3:30, and I'm like, yeah, I got to get up at 4:30. It's crazy. But anyway, what did you want me to say? Or is it parting words right now?
Give some last thoughts, and of course, once again, plug yourself.
Okay.
But most definitely, the last thoughts.
Yeah, there's so much more I can talk about. I had some theories I wanted to go over, but they're kind of long. And I also wanted to bring up, we were talking about like Project Bluebeam, and I was going to go into talking about chemtrails because of how they would,
Hey, Carly, guess what?
But we don't have to.
How they can make that?
What's that?
How they make
Carly,
their motion picture, their motion picture screen?
Yep, like a big
green
old projection screen. Yeah.
Hey, Carly, guess what? We're going to have you back on, so it's all good. We're going to do this again.
Yeah.
We really will.
Absolutely. Well, this was just
so hold that
a good
thought.
Intro. I think this was a great intro.
It's part one.
Yep.
I didn't put an end. Me and Ninja didn't put an end to it. This is just part one. We might do the part 100 soon.
Well, I think that's awesome, and that's ambitious, and why not? I mean, this is growing exponentially. But one thing I did want to comment on, which is just more of like an emotional thing or a spiritual thing, is that it's so great. The two guys that called in, like I don't recognize either of them, and that's a good thing because I'm noticing more and more. The more I get involved, the more flat earthers I don't know, because it is growing so fast. There is so much content out there. There are so many members in groups right now. There's so much out there that's not even on YouTube or radio. We are growing so big. I don't think people realize the immensity of all this, and it's just almost overwhelming that I think I have a grasp on who's who and who's doing what, and it's totally out of control. There's so much out there to keep up with it.
Well, I told you on Google, flat Earth is trending. It really is.
It's incredible. It is incredible that it's getting this big, and I don't think we've seen the half of it, really. I mean, it's gonna grow a lot more.
It absolutely is. Back to what I was saying. I hate the term flat Earth because really the Earth does have valleys and mountains and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, we're not on a spinning ball. It's impossible, people. Listeners, it's impossible to go at the velocity they claim we're going at. It would be absolute chaos.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've actually grown.
Listen, I don't know if you have fast cars or fast motorcycles, which I own too, okay? And I love speed. I'm a speed freak. Let me tell you something. Even with a helmet on, and I'm all like aerodynamic, and I'm thinking that I'm all cool, when I get to about 140 miles an hour, even before that, about $120, you're hitting about $120 down the highway. Let me tell you something. That velocity, those speeds with the air and everything else, your body is going and moving around. If I stick my head up above my windscreen, my head feels like it's going to get ripped off. So you mean to tell me we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour, ripping around the globe, ripping around the sun at, 60-some thousand miles an hour, and being blasted through the vacuum, which is impossible, at 500-some thousand miles an hour. I'm sorry. Atmosphere is not going to protect you. My helmet's not protecting me because of it's just at 120 miles an hour. Stick your head up above that windscreen. Now you hit $150 or $160. I'm gonna tell you something. Your head is getting ripped everywhere. Even when I dip back below that windscreen, it's hard to stay intact on that bike. You literally feel like you're getting thrown everywhere. That's only at 160 miles an hour. Or 150.
Yep, you're right.
My fault.
So, and actually,
but we're doing hundreds of 1,000 miles an hour? No.
I know. It's funny that you bring that up because I one of my videos I will be doing in the future is one I've already planned in my head. It's an experiment to disprove the Coriolis effect. But there's I guess in my parting words, I'll kind of go over some of the things I'm going to be working on in the future, and maybe just a little bit of content if people want to check out my channel. I have plans on, some of the things I've already done. I do a lot of observations as far as the sun and the moon especially, sun and moon comparisons.
Yes.
I do a lot of work on crepuscular sun rays and proving that the sun is small and close. I do a lot of video logging where I just get on there and kind of share my thoughts. I have done some experiments, but I also come up with theories. I have theories on the Earth being a giant water distiller and creating its own clean, fresh water to keep reproducing the ice wall. And maybe in a future show, I can go over things like that. I did some work on magnetics. The Earth being a giant neodymium Earth ring. So there's a lot of I think it's interesting stuff that I've talked about. I think that sounds interesting.
We got to get into the magnetics.
Oh yeah,
that is something
and I've
big.
done a little bit of work on that. The magnetic video I did was explaining the aurora borealis and the aurora australis, which is the northern lights, and some people also see similar things in the southern regions. It goes over the mechanics of maybe how the sky lights up when the sun is close and what maybe makes the sun, gives the sun its light, things like that. That's what that video goes over. But I like to do a lot of theories on the mechanics of how the things in the sky work, and
I heard, the northern hemisphere star drag goes to counterclockwise and the southern star drag goes clockwise. We'll prove it.
Yeah,
prove
and
it.
that's
I want to see a video on it.
Yeah, I've never really gotten. I've thought about it, and I have.
I think that comes down with the magnetics.
Yep.
Or
and I haven't gotten into
all that.
I haven't gotten into completely, creating a video on that, but that might be something in the future. But some of the things, I have an idea for an experiment for the Coriolis effect that's already in the workings. I have an experiment I'm going to be doing to prove that the sun is not setting behind curve over flat water. There's an experiment I'm going to do for that. I have a couple other experiments. There's a really interesting one I want to start working on, comparing the way our eyes work and the mechanics of how our head moves and we keep balance. Our bodies are literally created to work like a gyroscope on a flat, motionless plane. So that's another video. That's another video I'm going to be working on too. Everything takes a lot of research before I actually put it together. But anyway, I am on Facebook as Carly Sunshine Medrano. Like I said earlier, everything on Facebook is public. So a lot of times I post a lot of good information on there, and you can go and share right from there. My Flat Earth group, one of my groups, I admin over 12 of them, but one of them that I own is called Flat and Happy. And like I said before, if you want in there, it's a closed group, and I'm very picky on who I let in. So it's not quantity, it's quality. We don't want trolls. We don't want debates. We want a safe place for people to be able to learn.
We don't want to be derailed.
Correct. If you get in there and you want in, and it's taking a long time because there's a waiting list of probably 100 people right now. It just takes a little while to get down through them. Private message me if you heard me on the show, and I'll get you in. And my YouTube content channel is just called Carly Sunshine.
Nice. Hey, Carly, thank you so much for coming on. And we're down to like the wire here, and I don't want to get cut off. I want to give Darryl a chance to also plug his stuff. And go for it, brother.
Thank you guys so much.
Keep in mind, we are at 11:49.
I'll be hitting you up on Facebook, Carly.
I will.
I sent out the friendship suggestions, so you guys are all good.
We're friends already.
Man.
We're friends already.
Okay.
All right,
cool. Darryl, take this thing, man.
Indeed, so.
All right. So, well, I mean, I'm not going to be accused of being the brightest, most brilliant, most educated flat earther in the room, okay? You already know my stilo at this point. I'm more like, look, we already got all the information out there. We got Mark Sargent, we got Eric Dubé going down the list, all these guys that can give you all the facts and figures. We got people doing experiments all over the place. My role this thing, I want to energize this movement, okay? We already have the information. We need to put some energy into this thing. Emotion, energy, and get some motion to this thing. That's what the Flat Earth Offensive is all about, okay? We've been in defense mode too long. It's time for us to take the fight to them, all right? They always try to back us into a wall with gravity and, these little experiments and the Coriolis effect. It's relativity. No. We're going to take it back to the basics. We're going to just get out there and take it to them. So I'm encouraging people that I interact with, through my videos. I'm saying, hey, go out there, whatever you can do. If you can, put a sticker on the back of your car, wear a T-shirt that says the Earth is flat. Do your own experiments. Support artists, whatever. If you want to do videos, if you want to do music, write poetry, however we do this, the goal is to get this to where it is common knowledge, because they are going to try that alien agenda. They are going to try to pull that stuff on us. And
they've already been.
I know.
They've already been. All these UFO sightings.
We're trying to beat them to the punch. We're trying to wake up enough people to know that alien deception, we're not going to fall for that, because we know that the Earth is flat. We know that we're in an enclosed system. And we know that those so-called aliens, we know those are demons. And that's what this is about. So if we get people more energized about this thing, to just, push this message out as far and wide and as fast as we can. Just keep it straight to the basics. Bodies of water don't curve. That's how I start off, a couple of my videos, and that's going to be the message at any point. That's the one thing that they can't disprove. I'm going to take my camera out somewhere, zoom that thing across some flat water. Hey, show me where bodies of water curve. Show me the scientific experiment where the scientists caused the oceans to curve. And nobody.
They don't. There is not one.
So that's what that's about. We got to keep this thing simple, so people can, people can absorb these things. That's why when I'm back and forth with someone on Facebook or Twitter, they'll ask me a question, and I broke down one of ODD's videos, 21 questions, the Stranger's Guide to the Flat Earth. I broke that down into sections. I hope he isn't upset about that. Each one of those questions, each one of those videos answering a question is under 4 minutes. So I broke those down and put those on my page. And when somebody asks a question, I'll identify that question as one of those videos, and I'll just link it there. And I'll tell them, hey, this video is 94 seconds. This video is 74 seconds. Go ahead and listen to this. Get back to me. Because the fluoride, the chemtrails, these heavy metals and these chemicals get into our brains, and they kind of dumb us down. This is the society that we live in. And me personally, I'm kind of hyper, and I tend to have a short attention span myself, so I know I'm not that special. So I'm saying if this affects me, I know it affects other people. So I'm basically trying to meet people where they are, and that's what we
make it quick and simple. Quick and simple.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do.
Exactly, and that just like the level experiment. Anybody can go take $10 and go grab a spirit level. Oh, you hopping on a flight? Here, grab $10, go get a level, put this on your tray table. Go test the curvature for yourself. Anybody can do that.
Exactly.
Now I'd be willing to bet. I'm not a gambling man, but I'd be willing to bet that pretty soon TSA is going to be checking people's bags for a spirit level. I'm just putting that out there.
Good point. I was going to bring that up. They're going to be letting people bring levels on their planes anymore because it's a weapon. A weapon?
Right.
A weapon?
Right.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah, you can't take this on, sir. I'm sorry. Is this for your job? That's not for your job? Yeah, you can't take this on. You got to leave that here. Check that bag.
I would say, yeah. It is for my job. I'm measuring the lives. I'm paid to measure lives.
Exactly. And that's what that's what the 3 steps are about. I want to organize this Flat Earth Offensive movement in 3 steps. Spread the truth, expose the lies, and demand answers. Because the answers that we've been getting, so that's how I want to play this thing. So I'm like the hype man of this whole movement, man. I'm like, yo, let's go, let's get it.
I know, and that's the thing.
I love it.
You are putting the offensive. You're like, enough of the defense. It's time to go on the offensive. Stop hiding. Yeah. Stop not commenting because you're afraid of ridicule. Get out there and speak what you know. Wake people up. And I love that about you, man. Keep it up. Stay strong, brother. Keep fighting.
Yes, sir.
I love that.
Let me just say something real quick before.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up. We're gonna get cut off, and I don't want to get cut off. I want to wrap this up appropriately. We're down to
So let me just say this real quick. Thank both of you guys for coming on. My final thought will be this: we have to remember that it is our job to tell everybody what we know about the truth. We are the watchmen on the wall, and we're supposed to tell the truth and find and try to expose stuff that's wrong and the lies and everything. We're supposed to do that, but we have to understand that the great delusion that is going to fall upon men is caused by God himself. God is going to turn people over to their reprobate minds. He's going to let them have what they want. So we can tell it's our job to wake people up, but there are going to be more that don't want to wake up than that do.
Right.
That's why the gates to heaven are narrow and the road to destruction, the path to destruction is wide. So we have to remember that. It's our job to tell people what we know, but we also have to remember that God is going to cause that delusion. He's going to give everybody what they want. This is what you want. So here, you got it. And that's the key. God is in control of this.
Yep. Hey, real quick, Michael, I saw you throw your hand up, but we're getting a little down to the wire, brother. I didn't want to pull us on anymore. We're trying to stay within timetables here. So, Michael Connolly, sorry. I not that I didn't want to get you, but I saw you put your hand up, but we're trying to wrap this thing up. Ninja, back to what you just said. There's 2 rock songs. There's a Highway to Hell. There's a Stairway to Heaven.
And a Stairway to Heaven.
Come on. But anyway, thank you both, Carly and Daryl, for joining us. This was awesome, an awesome kickoff to Flat Earth Testimonies. Both of you two are welcome back anytime. Matter of fact, I think there's going to be a part 2 to this show with you both because we ain't done yet. We really aren't done yet. There's so much more to talk about. And for all the listeners out there, we got some great guests coming. What's that, Carly?
I said it goes by so quick.
I told you. And Ashley, if you're listening, you see what 3 hours, you're 2 hours live and 1 hour. Ashley, tomorrow night, straight out of captivity. She's stepping up to the plate. New show coming on the network. I'm pumped. Everybody listening now, please tune into her show. I can guarantee you this. That girl, that woman is a ball of fire. And by the way, she's fully awake. So thank you, Daryl, and thank you, Carly, for joining us tonight. And there's going to be more. I want you both back on the network, one-on-one, both at the same time. It doesn't matter. My brother Ninja, I love you, my man. We're going to continue on next week. Flat Earth Testimonies Part 2 coming your way, listeners. Trust me. We're bringing more people on board. You're going to hear more testimonies, and we're going to spread this thing. We're going to make this thing happen, and we're going to demand answers. And by the way, hashtag FE offensive. Guess what? We're done with defensive. We're going on the offensive. Right, Darryl?
We're coming for you.
That's right.
Let them know.
That's right.
Going to take your ball away.
Yeah. It's all good, though. It's all good. Well, yeah, go play the basketball. And by the way, take that basketball, dip it in water, and spin it, and tell me what happens with the water.
Right.
Hello, under gravity.
You know, I'll go gravity and turn that on.
No, they say
we're going to do
basketball has less gravity.
Centrifugal force.
True.
Centrifugal force.
Well, we really can't spin a basketball at 1,000 miles an hour, as they want us to believe. But anyway, we'll get into that on a future show. Trust me, we will, because gravity is not an excuse anymore. There ain't no such excuse because it doesn't exist. It's a theory that holds their ball together. Gravity strong enough to hold the oceans down at the bottom, but yet weak enough to let a bird fly or let a balloon go. So
here's one thing about gravity. If gravity is real, who created gravity?
Hold on. We are less than 1 minute. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to New Element. I am Renegade Smith, joined by Ninja Scroll, Carly Sunshine, and Darryl Marble. Take care. God bless.